Hello, y'all. How's it going? It's Monday evening. Whoops, that shouldn't be on the screen. 1 second. I was moving that around a bit and forgot to take it down so I could pull it up. My bad. Let me get rid of that until it's time for it to come out. Go away. I'd use the button commands, but it's not time for those. It would advance the thing. Not important. Anyway, how are y'all doing? It's Monday. Hope you had a good Monday. My Monday was fine. Hey, it's all, nothing's that eventful these days. Right now in particular. But, hey, whatever. Let's go. Everything sound good, look good, etc. Yep, I'm pretty sure it's all good. It's all good. We're live on YouTube and Twitch. Pretty sure that's the case. If we're not, that's a surprise to me. Twitch says we're up. YouTube says we're up. All right. Why don't I tell you what we're doing tonight? Last time here in Twilight Princess HD, we got, let me see here, where can I show it? Collection. We got the mirror, the Twilight mirror, all the shards, the last of the shards. We went to the city in the sky, and we got the last of those, and now we just have to go to the Twilight Realm, and then after that, to the, proper endgame castle place. Hyrule Castle or whatever. Anyway, I'll say I am not sure how long it will take to do both of those things. By my understanding, this game maybe is, relatively straightforward from here. Insofar as, we'll go to a dungeon, we'll come back from that dungeon and go to the last dungeon, and then that'll be it. But I'm not sure how long that's going to take, so I'm not going to commit to finishing it tonight, but we might finish it tonight. Let's see what happens. It's up in the air. I'm not saying 100% this is the finale, but if you're watching the VOD tomorrow or whatever, and it says it's the finale, you should take its word for it. It knows what it's talking about. If it says it's not the finale, if it says it's penultimate or something, or otherwise has a dumb name that doesn't really imply finality, then perhaps it turned out that the Twilight Realm was longer than I thought. Perhaps there's stuff in between us and the ending, and decide to leave it to another week. Who can say what the future holds until tonight we go and try to, ascertain what the future holds by, going that way. I will say one more thing before we start, and that has to do with this card that you saw by mistake earlier. Paper Mario Randomizer 2 seeds at once on Thursday. That is the high concept Paper Mario Randomizer stream that I've been looking to do for a couple weeks now. Well, I got the thing set up. I got the seeds made. Took a bit yesterday, just, time to get them working right and working good. And I'll say they are working right and working good. And I think we are in for a good time come Thursday evening. I have this scheduled for 8 o'clock, but maybe we'll start a little early on account of I'm not sure how long this is going to take to do 2 seeds at once. And if you're wondering what the setup is, I've already scheduled it as far as the YouTube goes, and that scheduled VOD has that scheduled stream has all the details about how those seeds are set up and what the plan will be. Basically, I got one seed that just has limited logic and requires chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, and another seed with limited logic that requires chapters 5, 6, and 7. So one that's entirely early game and one that's entirely late game. And also, I'm starting with maximum boots in the early game one and maximum hammer in the late game one. And also in either of them, the one that they don't have maxed out is nothing. You don't have a hammer to start with in the early game one, and you don't have boots to start off with in the late game one. There's no particular high end reason for that, other than I thought it sounded fun. And that's just a great rule of thumb for a stream. What sounds fun, I believe. Hopefully y'all will be into that, and yeah, that'll be on Thursday. Oh, and again, that'll be with like BizHawk Shuffler. I'll be switching back and forth between the two games, the two seeds, every 4 minutes until such time as I finish one of them. Gotcha? Got it? Got it? Got it. Okay. Go ahead and take that card down. And without further ado, let's go ahead and start this thing. Now, where we left off, we got business to attend to up in the Desert Province. We got business to attend to up in the Desert Province, and that's where we're heading. We're gonna go to the mirror, and we're going to like put it into its stand. And then we're going to go inside the big ol' rock. That's the plan here. Big ol' rock. That'll lead us to the Twilight Realm, which is a place. Sort of a dungeon. It's a little heavy on, like, escort puzzles. I don't think it's quite an escort quest, but it is escort quest adjacent. That's gonna be like the focus of this dungeon, and I'll say this dungeon was never my favorite. And I have like barely any opinion on the one that comes after it, Hyrule Castle. I barely remember it. I feel like it was just like, oh, you go in, you go through a few rooms, there's a couple boss fights, and you're done. It's not so much a dungeon, so much it is just a wave hand finale. But let's see. I'm looking forward to seeing it again. The last time I played this game, when it came out on the like 10 years ago on the Wii U, I got to City in the Sky and stopped playing. So it's been at least 10 years since I've seen this ending, seen this dungeon, seen the ending dungeon after it. So my memory is murky, if I'm being honest. Okay, hey, that's kind of a thing worth noting. Midna is the Twilight Princess. Now, I thought earlier that the other princess was the Twilight Princess because she was a princess and she was in Twilight hanging out. But, she's just the regular princess in Twilight. Midna, on the other hand, is the Twilight Princess. Okay. You know what? Like I said at the time, it would make more sense for Midna to be the Twilight Princess, and yeah, she is. Good. Okay. She got turned into an imp. Very unfortunate. I like her hair like that. It's a good look. Before she puts on the helmet. I think, yeah, oh, she looks evil. I think the hair looks pretty good. The hero would appear as a divine beast. The hero became a dog. Yes, that's right. I am the hero. You're absolutely right about that. I appreciated the save, regardless of what, you know, you don't have to care about our world. So long as you're, like, acting in my interests and, like, helping out and shit. I don't care what happens to your world, so, you know, there you have it. We'll help each other out through this. Okay. You can defeat Zant, the curse will dissolve, and you will be able to revive Zelda. What happened to Zelda? When did Zelda get, like, I mean, I know she's in the castle, and the castle got trapped in a diamond. But, I don't know. That doesn't seem like, something in particular that's happening to her. She's just in a, bad place. Alright, here we go. Going into the old Twilight realm. It's a pretty cool thing to go into the Twilight realm. I'll say that effect is very cool. The whole doorway into a rock. So this is the Twilight realm, huh? It's alright. 3 buildings and, so she's gonna hide in the shadow even though she's from here. Don't worry about it. It's, you know, not inconsistent at all. She wants to be that way. Yeah, I don't know about this whole, like, Twilight look. Like the clouds and the bloom and the kind of weird off-kilter colors. It's all right, I guess, but I don't know. It's not like the... you know... Oh, hey, I think maybe they're cool. Hey, buddy. These big fellows are friendly. Even though they look like the enemies that we've been fighting this whole time. They're actually the people of Twilight, but under a curse. Okay. We're gonna go this way. That's a cool... You know, I think that just being in the clouds and all in the sky, slightly less cool effect. Slightly less cool than, like, sinking into a rock. Hey, let's do it. Here we are, Twilight... In the, Twilight realm. What is this called? The Palace of Twilight? I put Twilight Realm in the stream title. It's fine. It's close enough. You know. Oh! Poor fella. I just hit him with a sword. Oh! Oh, jeez. Comes like a tube man, you know? Alright, so we got 3 little hallways here, I believe, and we have to go into each one in turn and retrieve, like, a thingamajig, and then come on back out. As dungeons go, I guess this one is the very least simple as far as its structure. You know, it's just a bunch of hallways. But I do find it to be a little lacking compared to the other dungeons. I guess I'll say that was my opinion the last time I played this dungeon, like 15 years ago. So, you know, let's see if I still think that way after, you know, going all the way through it. And hey, never seen this version of the dungeon on account of on this like Twilight Princess HD never did 100% it, you know, never did finish the last dungeon, and thus never saw this one. At the time, I just said, like, yeah, whatever. You know, I never liked this dungeon much in the first place, so why not stop here? This is actually a perfect place to stop. That was my thought process then. This time my thought process is I'm on stream and it's a full playthrough. So we're going through the whole thing. I guess maybe there'll be some amount of like popping in and like going from... Oh, wait a minute. I was about to say like maybe we go to the other door and there's maybe a path to the other door. 100%, let's go. This is not 100%, this is regular. This is any percent 8M. But, you know, hey. How you doing, 8M? Hope you enjoyed that WarioWare last stream, 8M. Considering you contributed a whole bunch to that, you know, incentive. Still, very appreciative of that. That was very, very cool. What is this black stuff? Oh, it turns me into a wolf. Okay, I can be a wolf. That's fine. I'll say I have some cards tonight. Why don't I just, you know, pull one or two of them? Start with, hey, let's talk about, did you hear about the Escapist? They had some layoffs, and also Yahtzee, Croshaw Yahtzee, who is sort of the main dude over there, resigned. That was fun to watch. Excellent, glad to hear it. I'll say, for my part, I haven't, like, been into the Escapist or Yahtzee Croshaw since, like, well over 10 years ago. You know, I sort of got out of his... I sort of, like, got over his stick. It's a great stick, but, you know, he came up with it, like, 20 years ago, you know? It's like, it was funny for a few years, and then I sort of, you know, was more interested in other things. I guess. And I'll say the Escapist in general, I, you know, have always viewed it as with, like, some amount of suspicion. Like, I feel like during Gamergate, they were not, like... I'm not sure, like, the details of it, but wasn't it during Gamergate they were, like, as like, a corporation, more willing to court, like, the Gamergaters and such of the world? That was weird. I don't know. They always give me, like, vaguely right-wing vibes as a website. Anyway, I'll say I don't know anyone who worked there still, and, you know... And, like, I'm sorry to hear that the people lost their jobs, but, you know, hey. Probably a better site to work for out there, and I hope them the best. I hope Yahtzee, hey, you know... He's losing his, like, 0 punctuation bit because Escapist owns that, but I'll say, like, hey, that's pretty cool that he has a chance now to do something new. That would probably be pretty good. I bet he'll, like, have success in that because, you know, I did think he was really funny. It's just that, I don't know, I've never wanted to go to the Escapist to watch a video in the last, like, 10 years. Is it still that way? It's probably not that way anymore. It's probably like everywhere else where they have a YouTube channel. But when I watched The Escapist, it was before you had to have a YouTube channel for your site. You know, back when you would just put your videos up on the site directly and no one batted an eye because YouTube was pretty new at that time as well. So, you know, what are you gonna do? It was like Ghost of Zant. Ghost of Zant. Oh, stay still, buddy. Just stay still and let me stab you. Oh, right. That was relatively easy. Oh, wait a minute. He's got more. I'm gonna take a drink. Oh, he's got no more. Quick, another card here. I also finished over the weekend WarioWare Move It. During that stream last week, Friday, went through like the first half of that game and off stream the second half. Turns out, yeah, the Nintendo portion is like very, very near the end. It makes sense because they have to introduce like all the stances, all the poses, and then also the buttons part, which I'll tell you, really fucking cool. When they do the buttons thing, that is just itself real goddamn dope. Like, you should see those micro games. They're good. They're really good. Anyway, finished it. I'll say what I said during last Friday's stream. I thought it was really goddamn cool, and I'll say it's the most impressed I've been with motion controls, like, ever. Honestly. Like, I don't think any motion controlled game before this one really impressed me as much as this one did. Like, it's doing cool things with, like, the position of the Joy-Cons, you know, putting them on the floor, fucking dropping them. And, you know, later on, when it mixes in a couple of buttons in there, too, it's like, oh, shit. This is so good. Like, honestly, I could go for, like, honestly, I could go for a lot more micro games of this sort. Like, just continue making micro games like this. Actually, that would be just rad in and of itself. Okay, that's gonna open a path. Top-notch WarioWare. I think clearly one of the best they've ever had. And I think a whole hell of a lot better. I think it's a whole hell of a lot better than the last one, Get It Together, like by an order of magnitude. I actually pulled up the Get It Together just idly the other day, just to see like, okay, what was it like by comparison? And it was just so weird. It was so like physics based, and like every character had like a different handling style. It was a good idea, but it would just be better if they were just minigames that worked the same way each time consistently. And that's what you got in this one. The minigames, they work consistently. And they're all very fun, cool, impressive. Just fucking rad. Top marks. I'm really impressed, and the only thing that, like, bums me out is that it tires me out in a way that is, like, a little bit, I can only play it so long as a result, but every session I do have is great, and I'd love to do some multiplayer stuff of that, like, you know, if ever I get a chance. That's WarioWare. Feel like it's a contender for my top 10 of the year. That's cool. Hey, this design, I like it. I like this weird Twilight fella design. Also, for, like, being half the dungeon, like, maybe, I don't know if half the dungeon is right. That went by really damn quick, didn't it? I reckon we might be going to the endgame tonight if the rest of this dungeon goes as fast as this did. God damn. I remember all these dungeons being, like, weird escorts, I guess, insofar as you're, like, escorting this ball. You're escorting this ball and trying to make it so the hand doesn't bring it back. And if the hand doesn't bring it back, you're gonna be very sad. But I dropped the ball. Where is it? Okay, good. It's over here. Not sure what I do with that ball, but, Oh, you know what? There's like circles here. I put it on the circles. I'll say getting through that in one go, I'm happy about that. I remember it being pretty frustrating as a kid. Like, you know, dropping the ball, having it get caught by the hand, and having to, like, go retrieve it or something. That was always a bummer when that happened. So, let's continue trying to, you know, do this. Trying to do this. Weird phrasing. Let's do this and get it done and shit. Hell yeah. Second hallway here. I'll say I have another card related to games, which is that Mario RPG comes out on Friday. Looking forward to that. I have it all pre-ordered, pre-downloaded and all. I'm not going to do a stream of it. You know, like I said, I already have plans for Thursday. You know, Paper Mario plans, but definitely will play it. Definitely will go through it, and, you know, I'm sure a lot of people will be doing exactly that, and hopefully I enjoy it. I'll say, like, I was never the biggest Mario RPG head. You know, it's very much like not my favorite sub-genre, sub-brand of the Mario RPGs, but I think that the remake looks fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing, like, how it all goes. I bet that'll be pretty damn cool. Like, with that, the way that the art style translated into 3D. Oh my god. Really makes you appreciate, like, you know, how they're doing things these days, I suppose. Anyway, that'll be Friday. Looking forward to that. Again, no stream for that. Other plans. I do like, these days, like, doing streams of new games, like, on their release day. But I feel like I should maybe conserve and just, like, you know, only do the biggest and most important ones, the ones that I'm really super excited for. You know, I'm moderately excited for Super Mario RPG, but there's a good chance that I get into it and I go like, I don't know. You know, this is still the same game as what I, you know, remember being in. It's not quite to my taste, but could be pretty good. I'd probably say, hey, that original game maybe a good 4 out of 5. I don't remember how I landed on it. Maybe more like a 3. But this remake with its, like, gorgeous visuals and stuff, easy for me to say, like, probably a bit higher. What's up with this? Okay, there's another guy in the muck. I can see him. Weird that you can just hit B to attack as a wolf. Looks goofy. BG says, Woroxo, EVG. You're not making sense. EVG. Something's wrong with your keyboard. Your hand is in the wrong spot or something. GP, Great Britain or goodbye? Maybe something else. How you doing? Gotta kill this guy, and then we can proceed. Oh, there's lots of these guys. Oh, geez, there's like 3 of these guys. Okay. Weird Zant heads. Do those things have a name? They're like the head of Zant. Twilight masks, maybe? I wonder, they probably do have a name. It's like somewhere in fiction, somewhere in the Zelda wiki or something. I don't know. If these guys have a name, please tell me. I'm gonna call them Zant heads, without one. Okay, go up, there. Alright, chest opened, over there. Let's go. Anyway. Whoop that for fuck cock, motherfucker. Anyway, how about another card? I have quite a few tonight, and you know, might as well just you know, keep going through them. This will be like a small key. A Zant stamp. Zant stamp sounds like tramp stamp to me. Imagine someone having like a tattoo of Zant, you know, going into their you know, their like you know, their crack. Is it flattering to describe? I feel like the word crack has more of a connotation with like men and like bigger men in particular. Unlike a sexy lady, would you call it a crack? I don't know. The English language, it's an interesting thing. Another card. There's our small key. Did you see them Call of Duty ads on the Xbox? Sort of a topical topic. They on the Xbox, they put up like a when you launch the console, they put up like a full screen ad for the new Call of Duty, which I thought, seeing it and you know seeing some of the feedback from it, I thought was a little silly, considering like honestly. You know, that game's gonna be on Game Pass, so, you know, in like a year or so, maybe like start of next year, I don't know. But I feel like anyone with some sense would be able to say like, hey, you know, I'm probably not gonna buy it, even if I wanted to. At least that's how I feel. Certainly I have no interest in it, considering that I've never played any of those games, and I'm just sort of waiting for them to show up on Game Pass now, so I can play them for the first time, and, you know, we'll make a stream of it. When Call of Duty and Crash Bandicoot and all those Activision games hit Game Pass, definitely we'll do that. I don't know. I hope they do it, like, soon next year. Apparently what they said is, like, we're not going to do it this year. It's going to be next year. But, like, I hope when they do it next... I hope when they do it next year, they're relatively quick about it. You know, just go ahead and just start dropping them. Honestly, I think that new Call of Duty should be day one Game Pass. Why not? I mean, it'd make less money, but what the fuck does Microsoft care? They're in a different game. I feel like money is not their priority. Their priority is, like, just selling Game Pass. And putting that new Call of Duty on Game Pass, I almost fucking... God, that's gonna sell so much Game Pass, probably, if the new Call of Duty, all the Call of Duties, whatever, if they're all on it. People are gonna get Game Pass. You know, even ones that, like, haven't. It's a pretty sick, you know, proposition for Microsoft, and... yeah, I don't see why you would, you know, pay money at this point when it's just gonna come out for free in like 6 months or less. I say free, part of Game Pass. Slight difference, but, you know, Microsoft knows I have Game Pass, so they know I like it. They know I'm, you know, just going to have that prerogative to like not buy a game from a series that I guess Microsoft also knows that I've never bought a Call of Duty since Call of Duty 2, which was before they got good. And you know, I didn't really like that Call of Duty 2, so I didn't get the later ones, even though it sounds like they did eventually become good, and you know, became a lot more cinematic in ways that are like that people like. Again, definitely we'll make a stream out of that when it all comes to pass, you know. All right, that's another boss down. We are cranking through this dungeon. I guess the other thing about this dungeon, in addition to being like, you know, these orb missions being like weird in ways, the other thing about them that's cool is that, I guess cool is maybe the wrong word, it's over relatively quickly. Doesn't outstay its welcome, and also means that we definitely have time for we definitely have time for a can I like shoot this guy with an arrow or something? Stop, Dick, stop. God, I wish he was like farther back from the orb. Because he is like worrisomely close there. Feel like we're definitely going to Hyrule Castle tonight at this rate, folks. Very pleased about that. Reasonably pleased. Here's another card while we're going through this room and trying not to drop the orb. You see that there's a new hero Overwatch. Speaking of like Microsoft news, apparently this came out of BlizzCon, whatever. The only news I saw out of BlizzCon this year. I'll say this is the only news I saw out of BlizzCon this year, so, you know. I don't know if that's just like the state of things at BlizzCon, you know. Hearthstone doesn't really interest me anymore. Nor does like Diablo. I'll say Diablo. The hell? Stop coming back to life, dude. This guy is annoying. I am glad there's not that much of him left. I'll say like Diablo. Jesus Christ, he's back to life already? I can't see. Okay. I'll say Diablo 4 I liked a bit. I haven't finished it yet. And I don't know that I will get back around to it before the end of the year, but I'll say like nothing they could say about that game would really pique my interest. I did see the email about the Overwatch 2 hero though, so you know, there's that, and it made me go, huh, okay, yeah, sure. That sounds like a thing that if it's free on Game Pass in the future, I would be interested in like you know, trying out. And I'll say through Game Pass you can get like all the heroes that they've released so far for money. So honestly, the part of Overwatch 2 where you have to pay for the heroes has sort of been like ameliorated by that a bit already. And you know, now that Activision and Microsoft are one, I bet you that I would have to hope, I would have to guess that we'll be seeing more of that in the future. You know, more of what? Funny guy. Okay. I bet we'll be seeing more of that in the future. I bet that you know, they'll make those Overwatch heroes free sooner than they did previously. I say free. Part of Game Pass, like on a regular basis, maybe even with some sort of account integration, so you don't have to like enter in a code every time, or like redeem them in a weird way. I still technically haven't redeemed that yet because I haven't played Overwatch 2 in forever. Anyway, that new hero, he sounds alright. I don't know. I'd have to play him to find out, and that's fine. I don't really feel like booting up that game. And if I did now, maybe I would do it on the Xbox because the performance on my PC was pretty junky the last time I tried it. My sword is glowing now. That is literally a glow up, I suppose. Yeah. The lighting kind of looks nice. Kind of like the way the lighting looks with my fancy glowing sword that repels the darkness literally, like which actually repels the darkness in a non-figurative sense. Like, we're gonna see some darkness and it's going to be just like repelled by it. Fuck me. Hey, how about another card while we're just walking back up to the dark waterfall? I watched Dirty Work. Mentioned on the last stream that I was trying to finish in time to watch a watch party that another streamer was doing, Dan Reichert. And sure enough, I was just in time, ending that stream at like 11 p.m. That turns out, just perfect timing. He was just wrapping up at the time. And, what the hell? And he went to Dirty Work, like, shortly after. And I'll say Dirty Work, it's a movie, it's a comedy movie, starring Norm Macdonald, who is, like, not an actor, he's a comedian. He's not really an actor. He's just, like, funny in interviews and stuff. And I'll say it had some good bits, it had some good moments. It very much gave the vibes to me of, like, a Comedy Central movie from like the mid-aughts, right? Like, How High would be a comparison I would make. You know, and just being like a goofy, outrageous, but funny movie that is like weird about a few things, but also is, you know, reasonably funny. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing it. It was very it might have been more interesting than funny, you know. As I'll say, like, I will maintain that Norm Macdonald's best stuff, just like stuff on YouTube, interviews and talk shows. The time he went on the YouTube, there was a bit. Norm Macdonald, he's like a comedian from like a long time ago. Died a couple years ago, and it was very sad. Anyway, there was a bit where he was on, where YouTube was doing a big live show, like big live comedy show, and they were trying to make it like a serious thing, you know, like celebrities showing up in suits and shit. And they hired Norm Macdonald to host it, and he showed up in a fucking pair of sweatpants and a sweatshirt, clearly not given a single shit or fuck, and it was very funny. You know, I would recommend seeking out that video. Norm at the red carpet's like, not given a single shit or fuck. Just like the highest Just like some of the best, like... Some of the best just like spite. Some of the best just like... Some of the best of just not giving a fuck that you can find out there, you know. Of just a guy just sitting on a couch in a pair of sweatpants and sweatshirts where everyone else is trying to dress fancy and he's just like slumming it, just being comfortable, and you could tell that he had the right idea, you know. Like, no, this live comedy show, it's not gonna be a thing after this one. He was right to take the ever-loving shit out of it, you know. There's a lot of great Norm Macdonald bits, and I'll say like, I'll say like the movie Dirty Work is not like the best possible place to find such bits, but it's all right. It's on Prime. Not bad. I probably wouldn't watch it again. There's a lot of these guys around, but they all die. One hit now. That's pretty good. Many of these guys. Stop it with these guys now. Anyway, that's all the thoughts I have about Norm Macdonald movie Dirty Work. Kind of fun. It's a little over the top and very dirty, but in a way that is like occasionally very funny. I guess I would recommend it for fans of Norm Macdonald who are like, you know, already find him funny, and also maybe have already watched like all the talk show clips out there, you know. Like, it's not the top shelf material, to be sure, but it's like shades of okay. I guess it's probably better. It's comparable. Norm Macdonald used to be on like Saturday Night Live like 20, 30 years ago or something, you know, in like the 80s and 90s or whatever. I'm not sure of the timeline. I didn't watch it, and I'm, you know, that's not my thing. But like, it's probably comparable to like the quality level of a SNL skit, but like very, very, very dirty. A very, 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 very dirty SNL skit. If you already find him funny, it's not bad. I also watched that night Wild Hogs, which Dan was doing a doubleheader watch party. He did one watch party of Norm's thing, and then after meeting a sub goal, which Dan Reichert always meets, he's good about that sort of thing. After meeting a sub goal, he did Wild Hogs edition. Dan's like a big streamer. He can always hit those, you know, goals that he sets for himself and shit. Anyway, Wild Hogs, it's really bad. Just a loathsome movie about like Tim the Toolman Taylor being in a biker gang and being kind of just chronically uncool, and in a way that is like also at the same time just entirely unfunny. Like, just so many scenes in that where I'm just watching and being like, wait, they forgot to put jokes in this one. This is just people being uncool. Is that enough for some people? Just like, oh my god, like these 40-year-old dudes are acting like bikers. I guess that's the joke. Okay. That's fine. Anyway, I guess I'll say I wouldn't recommend that. I laughed once at the very start when someone drove into a sign. I thought that was kind of funny. In retrospect, I regret laughing at that, considering that it's just a dumb slapstick thing, you know. Other than that, it was just like completely loathsome, and also full of some actors that you see and go like, oh my god, you're too good for this movie, dude. Like the fucking, what's his face from Goodfellas? He's in that movie. And you're just like, what the fuck are you doing here, Goodfellas guy? And Fargo guy is in the movie. Fargo guy really... Fargo guy can do better. Fargo's a great movie. Surely someone would want to hire the guy from Fargo. Seems to me that he could do a lot better than Wild Hogs. Take a drink. Hello, buddy. These guys, now that I got my sword all nice and powerful, kind of suck. They're kind of not very good at all. I'll say this dungeon is like weirdly underwhelming. And I think the problem might be, in addition to being just like a bunch of like just going through some rooms, backtracking through those rooms with a ball, and like trying to make sure it doesn't get stolen. Besides that, this dungeon has no item. And I feel like the item, like the dungeon item, is the heart and soul of a Zelda dungeon. You know, they had to work very hard in Tears of the Kingdom to make it so that the lack of a dungeon item was not a problem, you know, and it was still like fun and good. But you do have to work at that and make the dungeon really fun in other ways if you're not gonna do anything like that. And I don't know, I don't think this quite delivers. It doesn't quite like hit as hard as you'd like, I suppose. The music stopped and restarted. Are we in a new area? Is this about to be a boss? Oh, maybe it's because we went inside. Unsure. Whatever. I guess it's cool to, like, repel the darkness with your darkness repelling sword. You know, when you do have a sword that repels the darkness, you want to occasionally repel the darkness. Are you fucking kidding me right now? This is... My God. This is pick a pipe. Is it reductive to call everything where you have to, like, you know, just try 4 different paths to see which of them is correct? Is it insulting to call that pick a pipe? Because this is pick a pipe. Oh my God. Insulting or not, I'm gonna do it. This is pick a pipe. Hey. There's no getting around it. It kinda sucks that you did it like this game. Like, be cool about this sort of thing. Just, you know, don't make the player do... Don't make the player have to guess the way forward. You know, at the very least, it should be like a puzzle. There should be like a clue. If there was a clue, I missed it. I don't think there was. These rooms are pretty simple. How about another card? Also been watching Last Man on Earth. Been watching that for the last month or two. going through with my folks, you know, whenever I'm like hanging out with my, you know, my folks, you know. They've been going through that. I've never seen it, but they have, and it's been fun. It's been very funny. We just finished, like, I think it's season 2, and went on to season 3. I thought the whole, like, Mike arc of the second season was, like, especially fun. That's just very cool. If you don't know Last Man on Earth, it's a television show from, like, 10 years ago, where, the Will... What's his name? The guy who is MacGruber. Will... I want to say Farrell, but it's not Farrell. The other Will. Not Arnett, the other Will. The other Will. What's his name? Will... MacGruber. Will Forte. There we go. It's Will Forte. He's doing like a very good bit. That's funny. It's sort of MacGruber adjacent, honestly. I loved MacGruber, and realizing that this show is very much just like in that same wheelhouse, has like a lot of that same very like super offensive, super like bawdy type humor, is very fun to me to like actually watch it and see like some incredible bits. Like, I love the part Jesus, there's some amazing sex scenes that like are almost as funny as MacGruber's sex scenes in The Last Man on Earth, and it's fucking great. There's one in particular that I want to like allude to, but don't want to like spoil. I guess most people have already watched the show, or they're never going to. There was the line, "I can't touch her, only with your penis." And it made sense in context, and it was very funny. God, that scene in particular just had me cracking up, like, fucking as much as I would crack up at a thing. That scene of Last Man on Earth, and a lot of episodes, have similarly, like, hilarious shit to work with, and it's fucking good. Kind of unreliable, this whole sorting darkness away. Do I have the big key? Where's the big key? That kind of sucks. Yo. I gotta go backtrack to get a big key now. I guess it's on me for not fucking, I don't know, thinking about it up until now. These dungeons could use a fast travel. Could use some warp things, all I'm saying, like Wind Waker's got. That would be nice for situations such as this. Anyway, Last Man on Earth, really enjoying it. Really fucking funny. Let me look at this map again. Looks like it's behind this waterfall. Oh, there's like a ledge up there that you can barely see. Because it's, you know, kind of out of sight, out of mind. Can I grapple up there? Try to get closer without blocking it. Hey, buddy. Fuck off. Oh, great. I can see it from this angle, but Unfortunately, I cannot aim that far up. I don't understand that. Why? Honest question. Why? Oh. Obvious in retrospect. I thought I looked over there. Did I? Okay. You know what? It must have been... you know, whatever. Doesn't matter. Let's get that chest and, you know, do the next thing. Beat the boss, and then... head off to the end of the game. Hey, yeah, finale, definitely. Look at this. We're an hour in. We're an hour in, and we are about to finish the first dungeon. Like, yeah, shit. There's just Hyrule Castle left, and I'm not even sure, like, how substantial of a dungeon that is. I don't think it's that substantial at all. I think it's relatively not dungeon-like. I do think, by the way, for what it's worth, this dungeon, also not that dungeon-like. This game, it has some fantastic dungeons. These ones, you know, not really quite as hot. Please tell me this takes us directly to the top. Oh my god, that's good. Okay. Yeah, just keep on rolling. Keep on going. Very good. Hey, how about one more card? One more card before we go finish. Looking back on this 2-year streamiversary last week. Very fun stream last Friday. Very nice long one. Went 9 hours in total by the time it was done, but I think I had there were a lot of good bits from like the 5 hours of banjo, which was fun. Also like around 3 hours of Mario Maker, which hey, you know, if anyone didn't watch that VOD on account of you know, not wanting to see the and on account of like not being interested in the banjo or something. Like, let me say, there's a normal stream length amount of you know, Mario Maker 2 in there, so you know, there's some good shit. Also, the WarioWare, very fun. I'll say that the VOD didn't do. I'll say like with the VOD situation, now that I'm streaming live on YouTube in addition to Twitch, I have been unsure so far like how that's gonna go. So far I've been like unlisting the VOD, the like live stream, and then like re-uploading but with the intro cut out, which I think is the correct way to do it. But also it does mean that like any likes, views on the original VOD are lost, which is you know. What? Oh, okay. It went black for I was okay. Cutscene. I think it's the right way to do it. I think it's the right way to do it, and I'm going to do it. I will say, though, I would like to recommend that video. It's great. And you can see me playing the new WarioWare, and, like, you know, flailing my arms and shit, and my legs in some cases, and having a good time. It's a good thing to watch. Anyway, let's just go ahead and do this. The YouTube algorithm is still a mystery to me. Don't understand it. The Luigi's Mansion VOD from last Tuesday did really good, and the VOD of the Streamiversary, not as good. I mean, I know that VODs that are longer are not as good as long as the VODs that are shorter. Sort of a live streams that are long are great because more people can tune in, and VODs that are short are great. You know, it's sort of opposites, right? One is better in like the live format, and the other is better for like a recording, but I still think that that VOD could see some more traffic. You know, hey, whatever. Zant, let's do this cutscene. That's enough looking back at last week. It was very good, the streamiversary, and I appreciate the support a lot. We met one of our sub goals. Feel very happy about that, and I hope that the like 5 people who have subs now that didn't before are enjoying those emotes. And I'll say those emotes are integrated on Discord. If you're in the Discord, it's very nice. Anyway, Isn't that ironic? Because here we are, all thanks to the dark magic curse you placed on Link. Yes, the wolf form was very handy. I'll tell you both of magic and the repression of ages. These are magic people. They've mastered the arts of magic, locked away like insects in a cage. This is some pathos. Sort of similar to like the Ganondorf speech at the end of Wind Waker. In the shadows we regressed. We were just sort of like, babies in the void, sort of. We didn't know nothing. And then Ganondorf came and did a thing. It was all the fault of the royal family. Was it the royal family who decided on that stuff? I thought it was the sages. I would blame the sages if I were you. The sages seem to be the one who did it. I honestly don't know, though. Maybe the royal family was the one who decided. But in the flashback, it was like the sages, and also, like, a dark version of Link and a light version of Link. And, like, Link laughing maniacally in a way that is, like, weird and creepy. Okay. He believed he would be the next one to rule. I'm not following his logic here. Would they acknowledge me as king? No, I was denied the magic powers befitting our ruler. Then I turned my heads to heavens and found a god. Ganondorf, yes, I've heard of him. Oh shit, this is story time. We're gonna see like Ganondorf show up and be like, hey. You know what? They should have exiled Ganondorf and this magic guy to different realms. Sending them both to the realm of Twilight, that was a mistake. I wonder if the realm of Twilight is, like, particularly big. Like, could they have moved the rock a little bit and sent Ganondorf to a different palace? You know, like somewhere else, one that isn't so populated? Are there other palaces in the realm of Twilight? Other than the Palace of Twilight? Are there, like, towns of Twilight? I don't know. Ah, jeez. Yeah, that's Ganondorf. He's looking a lot more godlike than he looked when he was actually banished. He was just like a dude slipping into a tunnel. But he got all abstract, I guess, on the way in. I also have a piece of the Triforce on me, and I didn't turn into a weird ghost thing. I guess I have turned into a dog when entering Twilight before. I guess Ganon is like us in that he becomes something when he enters Twilight, but instead of a dog, he becomes a god. I think he got the better end of it. Dog mode is good, but like god mode, even better. You can't beat god mode. Unless you have a sword that repels the darkness, I guess. Alright, we're gonna fight him. Okay. Almost forgot about that. With how long he was, how long that cutscene was. Oh, this is like a... This is the, area from the first, You think we have to use the dungeon item from the dungeon that he's appearing in? Yes, at the very least in this case, that appears to work. These are like Twilight-ized as well. That's pretty cool. Do people like Gant? I feel like Gant was, somewhat cool design-wise. And then it turns out just to be a you know, just a, like, stooge for Ganondorf, you know? I feel like that element of him was, disappointing. I bet we're not going to... this isn't Mario Sunshine. What am I doing? I just need to run up and sword him. And if the boots help me do that, so be it. I was thinking this was Mario Sunshine for a second, trying to, like, make him flip out like the ducks with the suction cups on their feeties. Okay. Let me put on my old swimsuit. God, that will never be stylish. No. Let's see now. Is it just swimming here, or is it hook shot? Hook shot. It's the hook shot. Let me equip that. What is this? This is a giant statue of his head? Yes, it is. Okay, I gotta be on the sea floor before I can, like, stab him right up his ass. Is it a good idea to be on the sea floor? I don't know. I think I'm fine here. Okay. A lot of heads. Let's look in each one. He's not in this one. He's in that one. Does he stay in the same one, or does he move around? Okay, I'm gonna bet one of these two now. Come on. Okay, next phase. How many of these can there be? Oh, there's ones for mini bosses. Okay. Well, that's kind of fun. This is a good... I'll say, you know what, hey. This is a very cool boss, going through, like, all the different, like, bosses, mini bosses, whatever. It's sort of a... I'll say it's 100 times better than, like, the boss rush in Wind Waker, which is just literally fighting those bosses again. At least in this case, instead of, like, a baboon, it's like a silly guy, you know? A silly guy being silly. Where's the ball and chain? I need the ball and chain. Okay, buddy, come here. A silly guy being silly, it's good. It'd be less good if you had to go through, like, the entire full-ass boss fights again. I hope that, you know, I'll tell you, I don't remember, like, what's in Hyrule Castle, but I'm assuming with this, there's gonna be no, like, straight-up boss rush. I guess we'll see. It's been so long since I did Hyrule Castle, I have basically no memory of it. Okay, I'll tell you, I have, like, one memory, which is, like, using the spinner to get over, like, an area and being kind of chaotic in nature. Other than that, I do not remember what Hyrule Castle is like in this game. Maybe it's, like, different floors and you're, like, traversing up. What's this one? I don't know what is this one supposed to be. This one, I'm drawing a blank here. This is. I never fought anyone like this. Maybe this one's like an optional mini boss or something. Like if you get all the spirits or something like that. Or maybe this is just Gant's final phase, and now it's just him doing it normal style. These rings, they kind of remind me of Tears of the Kingdom. Part of Tears of the Kingdom, where there's a ring. Alright, just... gotta be nearing this. The end of this. Whoop. The one thing I don't know is, like, how does defeating Zant get us to Hyrule Castle? Like, I don't quite see the connective tissue yet. But I think we'll be seeing it. I'm sure it'll be straightforward. Haha. Hopefully. I'm expecting no in-between dungeon parts. I'm expecting it to be like, we're out of this dungeon, we're heading to the next one. But I honestly don't remember, so let's see. We did it! That was a really good boss fight, I'll say. One of the better boss fights towards the end of a Zelda game. Like, if there was like a tier list of boss fights, of Zelda boss fights, that's either an S or an A. Maybe an A+. It's definitely in the upper echelon of them. I'd say maybe A+. Maybe just short of S. It is somewhat chaotic and like slapdash, but in a way that's like fun. You know, I think like the lack of polish almost makes it more satisfying, you know, the way that it just feels like a little bit like WarioWare, a little bit of a best of. What? He popped! Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Your hair is a weapon now. Hasn't it always been? Certainly her hair has been a hand before. Her hair turns into hand. She's always had hand hair. Yeah, use the magic of your ancestors. Also, weren't you supposed to become a real girl? Like, after we beat Zant? It's probably gonna be after we beat, you know, the final boss. Who is... We already know now it's Ganondorf, right? It's Ganondorf. Who else could it be? Heart container. Yeah, we're done here. There's not that much here anyhow. I mean, even if you wanted to get optional stuff, there's like maybe 3 optional chests, one of which had a stamp in it, which there is no Miiverse anymore, so that's useless. Not a good stamp. Shit. Let's get out of here and see what cutscenes await us. And plot stuff, you know? Okay, cool. Sounds like we're just heading right to Hyrule Castle. That's fantastic. That's great. I don't know what prevents you from, like, going to Hyrule Castle up to this point. Other than, like, I guess if you go, she's not gonna say, like, okay, let's take down that barrier. Even if you have, like, in theory, everything you'd need. I think we have everything we need. Are the adventurers going to be like... No adventurers here. Well, that's gonna do it for that. Let's boogie. Let's warp. Warp over to here, I guess? I think we want to warp to Castle Town, right? What do you reckon that if... do we have to... Do you think we go right to the castle, or do you think we go to, like, the, Friends of Link organization and go say, like, hey, guys, how is it going? You know? There it is. There's our castle that we're going to. Right there. Oh, get this fucking get up off Link. Jesus, I forgot I was wearing this. There we go. There's the classic Link. Let's go. Fuck you! I knew that was gonna happen. That's part of why I untransformed. I was just gonna be untransformed anyway. I still hate this guy. I mean, I like him in Majora's Mask, I'll say that. I just hate him in this game. Because he just, like, is the worst unskippable cutscene ever. And also, if you're looking to be a wolf and be, like, in fast mode, whenever he comes up, you untransform. And it's just... never not annoying. God, every time that happens, it makes... it just... ah. I am not gonna say goodbye to anyone. I'm just gonna go up to the castle and, you know, head on in. Oh, yep, right move. Perfect. It's not a great look, but whatever. I think she looked, you know, just one of them was perhaps the coolest version of that. I guess it's kind of like a headpiece. She's gonna be like giant. Like a giant monster. There you go. You know what she kind of looks like? She kind of looks like a, kind of looks a little bit like a Guardian. Breath of the Wild. Bit like a Guardian. I guess the Guardians also have that sort of like runic, rocky look, you know? Except theirs is the Sheikah magic. Whereas hers is the Twilight realm magic. Different kind of magic. Different sort of like tradition. Good work. You got it open. I bet people love this scene. I bet people love those like 5 seconds in particular. That's a scene that I'm sure a lot of people think about a lot. You know, knowing people. I can't use my sword because this is still Hyrule Castle Town. Let's go inside and see what's up. I guess it's not in Twilight anymore because we broke the seal, so no more Twilight here. It's all regular all the time. I guess if it was Twilight, we wouldn't be able to stay human. That said, maybe the sword just lets us be human regardless of whether we're in Twilight or not. You know, we did just go to the Twilight Realm and it was fine. We didn't turn into a dog unintentionally. Only intentionally. Well, that's not true. There were parts that turned us into a dog unintentionally, but that was like super ultra Twilight. Okay, here we are, Hyrule Castle. Been a while since Hey, what's up? I'll say, like, it's been like at least 12 years since the last time I played this particular dungeon. You know, I played like most of the other dungeons like more recently when the Twilight Princess HD came out, but I never got this far in Twilight Princess HD, so it's been a damn long time since I've done this dungeon. I have no memories of it. Let's finish it. Those things look like bells, but they're the parts of the Triforce. I reckon that we don't have to, like, say, you know, hit them with a bow and arrow or something. That'd be silly. Some sort of little boss enemy encounter type thing. But we have the sword that repels the darkness, so they're kind of fucked. I think these guys are like high level macablins. If they're macablins, I don't know if these are macablins. Probably. But we sorted them out. Nice and good. I guess let's just explore and see what's up and find our way. Maybe it's just like a bunch of little boss fights with different guys and different groups of guys. And that's fine. Hey, more macablins. That's sure to be a good idea. Yeah, you know what? I am really afraid of red macablins in particular. So, you know, yes, throwing like 12 of these guys is sure to work out great. Yeah, they should send out some of the guys in the armor. That would help a bit. You know, the guys who, like, wear armor and have, like, bigger swords. You can never know until you try, but I do feel like their chances would be better than the bokoblins. Who, you know, I've been fighting since the very start. Let's do another card, hey. Got more. Let's talk about Extra Life. It's coming up now. Right, so Extra Life plans are pretty well and, you know, ready to go. I've mentioned before, I have big plans. I'm going to do 50 turns of each Mario Party from 1 to 8, and it's going to be fun. And, I'll have some incentives, such as, like, being able to sponsor a computer player, which will mean that their like, difficulty, I'll increase their difficulty. And also, I'll put your name next to them, so we'll know if they win that, you know, it was you what sponsored them. Anyway, I think that's a fun idea. I also came up with some other ideas. 1 second. Promo 2, I believe. Yes. Player noises. I will make player noises. If someone does a $10 donation, they can ask for me to just mash the button that makes noises until the end of the turn. Also, at the $50 level, donor turn. For a single turn, I do what you demand. If you can decide if I buy a store, waste an item, throw a minigame, etc., you decide. I cannot refuse if you, you know, redeem that. And feel free to say, like, at the start of the turn, you know, if you want to do that and then, like, save it for a later turn, that's fine. Just, you know, just do it before too long, before we all forget, you know. And also there'll be goals for a Mario Party 3 full playthrough and a Mario Party 9, which, you know, basically if we hit those, that would be like, you know, pie in the sky. I'll say last year we had a $500 goal, and we nearly made it. I'll say this year, the team that I was part of last year doesn't seem to be doing like a big organized thing at this time, because Min-Max is doing like their own thing separate from Extra Life, so I guess I'm not sure which team I'm going to like be doing Extra Life part of, so it seems. kind of sad, kind of a bummer, because I do think that having that, like, you know, being part of that team, I think probably helped out last year as far as all that goes. But, you know, I'm still pretty optimistic. I think, you know, hey, a whole another year of streaming, more followers, YouTube and Twitch now being online and going. I think we'll have a pretty good like thing. Okay, cool. I follow the strongest side. Okay. Yes. Thank you for recognizing us. Recognizing that. See you later, dude. Huh. Yeah, I didn't know bokoblins could, like, speak or, you know, have any concept of, like, loyalty. That is, unprecedented. Weird mercenary bokoblin. If he's a bokoblin. That was a fun fight. Sorry I was talking about extra life during that, but, you know, for a good cause. You know, children or what's it? That'll be sometime soon. I'll figure out a date in the near future. Maybe a week or two from now. I mean, we're finishing this tonight, so maybe, like, I could see it as soon as next Sunday. And then no Monday stream next week. That seems like a reasonable, like, plan to me. But we'll see. Maybe it'd make more sense, like, the week after next. Weekend after next. And also, it might be multiple streams, so look forward to that. I do always want to make sure that the Extra Life and the Streamiversary stream have some room to breathe, you know? Because they're both really long streams, and also, you know, both important of themselves. That said, maybe in the future, I would consider, like, you know, maybe I could do something other than Extra Life. I know that there are people who do, like, charity streams other times of the year. And, you know, for other charities, and maybe that would be the way. And then I wouldn't have to worry so much about, like, oh, Extra Life's coming up. Like, just do a different stream during, like, March or something. Or, like, February. I'm gonna do Extra Life. I feel like it's a... I don't know. I feel like it's... I've always wanted to get in on Extra Life, I guess. And I've always, like, looked upon Extra Life streams as, like, a fun event, you know? And, god damn it if I don't love a fun event, on this here channel. Should we go get some pumpkin soup from the Yeti? Not sure if we should go get some pumpkin soup from the Yeti. There's a right path as well. Do you think that that's required? I bet you we get another key, and that other key is going to be, like, important. Anyway, hope y'all will check out that Extra Life stream, whatever it is. I will try to make it like a Sunday. Maybe like a Saturday and a Sunday. Maybe like one Saturday and then also on Sunday. As I say that, I don't like the sound of it. I don't want to stream 3 days in a row, let alone 4. Yeah, I like to space out the streams a little bit. Have some down days, you know? I'll say if ever, you know, streaming made enough money where it could be like a viable, you know, full-time type deal rather than just like a hobby, which is how I would characterize it now, by the way, if you're wondering. I wouldn't want to do it like every weekday. I could see, you know, if ever that were to be the case, if ever, you know, this channel had enough popularity to like justify, you know, more streams, going up to like four streams a week, but never, I don't think ever I would want to do 5. I just find the thought of that to be exhausting, you know, having every day revolve around a stream. 3 times a week, that's my, like, hobby limit, you know? I think it's a good, reasonable amount of, like, down days and, you know, stream days. And I get a nice, relaxing weekend where I do nothing. It's great. Break through these fences. No. Another pig sequence. Okay, there we go. We had to break down the fence to break down the tower. Sure. This Hyrule Castle bit is like weirdly musicless. Weirdly like gloomy. Probably the idea, isn't it? It's supposed to be like affecting. I don't know, I like music. I think I would prefer if there were music, let's say. Another card. Finding time is still hard. Yeah. Still behind on a lot of things. Haven't found time to like write, to like you know, work on my backlog, the backlog reviews that I have on backlog. Been meaning to like you know, get those up to present, and I just haven't been able to find the time. Despite like, you know, being between gigs and just having to do like you know, just having just interviews and stuff, and not even like you know, there's a lot of free time that I have now, but still finding myself not necessarily still finding like it hard to find extra time to do that sort of thing. I guess a big part of that, like a reasonable part of it, is just, you know, I do like multiple streams a week. The videos from that have to be processed. You know, that does take a good amount of my free time, which, you know, I'm happy with that. But still, I would like to get up to present as far as like clips go. Been working on like clipping up streams as I do them, and I'm like 2 months behind, which is unfortunate because Twitch VODs only last 2 months, so I'm basically just treading water as far as that goes. I want to do the backlog, and I really need to do some walking. Haven't been able to find time to do walking. I said the other day, like a stream or two ago, I gotta start walking, considering that, you know, my big, long trip was long enough now where the exercise is like, you know, not as relevant anymore. Was all that for a stamp? That sucks. Okay, moving on. I guess we shouldn't have gone down this area. This area is just literally an area for a stamp. What was it originally? Probably something better. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just like 50 rupees or something. Why have that room, though, I ask you? Anyway. Still trying to work my way through various things that are backed up. And, yeah. Boy, howdy. I want to fight someone who's not these guys. I feel like I have their number. It's not really a threat when 5 of them run up this anymore. Okay, good. Hey, there's something different. The Zalthos. Ooh. More Lizalfos. Feel like this game, I don't know, like, maybe they were out of ideas for, like, what you could do in the dungeon. I mean, I guess that last part with the bull guy, with the pig guy, and with the other part where you rode a pig, that wasn't bad. That was relatively creative. Sort of harkened back to earlier dungeons. But, I don't know. Feel like you could do better. Temple. Regular, like, Hyrule Castle music playing now, so that's good as well. We got music again. I'll say in other news, I am thinking about my living situation. I think I mentioned before that my lease is coming up, and my current plan is just like, my plan has been as soon as I, say get a new gig, find somewhere else to move and then go, and in the meantime just like go month to month and shit, because I do not want to re-up this particular apartment, and also I don't want to live here like longer than I have to. Oh, this is a cool boss. That said, I have been like talking. I have heard about a possibility that I hadn't considered. An acquaintance of my sister's is looking to rent a room, rent 2 rooms in fact, and that sounds like a house, and that sounds like that could be feasible. 2 rooms is kind of all I need, bedroom and a stream room, living room type thing, and if I have that, this could be that could be good. Looking into that, seeing if, I like the guy, and if so, like, maybe that'll be a cool thing. Never had a roommate before. So, or not a roommate, I guess that'd be a housemate. Never had anything of the sort, but, well, except for when I lived with my family. But, that's a whole different, that's different than, like, someone who you don't know or otherwise, is not related to you. This is cool. I like this boss battle. Certainly better than the small fries. Will this work? No. Well, why did he move there? Doesn't matter. He moved again. What was that? Weird teleport move he's got going. Not gonna worry about it. Anyway, I find that prospect to be very interesting. I hope it works out. That sounds more appealing than like, that sounds like a good interim solution that doesn't involve me just staying here forever. And I'll say, like, I do not like this place. I hate there's, like, sound issues as far as, like, nearby bars and such. And I am just tired of, like, loud bass at, like, 1 a.m. I'm a night person. And honestly, like, that part doesn't bother me as far as, like, usually it's not that I want to sleep. Though sometimes when I want to sleep, it's a bummer. But it's more just a matter of like, man, I hate hearing bass, and I have to hear bass a lot in this current place. It really goddamn blows. Bass and other annoying such things. Ooh. You think it's something like we have to unlike this? That is right. That's exactly what it is. Ah, but not too soon. I'll have to see the place, I'll say. But like, you know, if it's cool, if it's good, that'd be a nice thing to have for like the new year, you know. I'll say like I would like to just, you know, with enough like time and with like I would love to just own my own house. I feel like that'd be really nice. But like renting part of a house, that sounds like it might actually be a decent like way of getting there, I guess. We'll see. I don't know. All very speculative. Contingent on like you know, being a good fit. What are we doing? Lights. Weird. So, I guess we're racing to light all the torches before they go out. Wait a minute. There might be an order to them. Is this a puzzle? Okay, I'm not gonna touch it. Does it go out on its own? They're all lit, but that one... Wait. That one goes out the fastest. This one looks like it lasts the longest. Like a... It's either just like a semicircle this way. No, it's I'll be this one. This one. I guess some fucking juice. I can't just scoop up the juice directly, right? I have to, like... Also, I have to literally go back all the way over here to get it. Okay, good. I can scoop the juice directly. I have to resolve this whole puzzle. I only have the one bottle, so... Well, I guess y'all can't see my inventory screen that's on the Wii U gamepad. I only have one bottle. So... I could take a bottle of it, but it means I can't take a potion. I can't get a fairy if one were to appear. I guess if one does appear, I can empty it. And it'll be fine. Okay. Door open. What else is going on right now? Let me do another card. Been doing a bit of queuing recently. Doing a bit of, you know, messing around with my various, like, you know, cubes and stuff. I have, you know, for the longest time, occasionally done, like, the 3x3 or the 5x5. These cubes, you know, they're like Rubik's Cube, you know, that's what I mean by cubing. But I also have been messing around a little bit with my other cubes that, I honestly don't use as often. Like, I did an Axis cube solve the other day, which was a bit of fun. It's been a while since the last time I messed around with that. Axis cube is a pretty devilish variant on a 3x3. You know, it's like a shape mod, but it's like you like. Hang on one second. Let me grab something. Just 1 second here. 1 minute. All right. So this here is an Axis cube. It's a shape mod of a 3x3, and you know, it has just the same amount of parts as a 3x3, but a face is actually like. Try to arrange it. A face actually has its center like right here, on like the edge, so it sort of is like this mask-shaped hedge. And let me just show you, like, I'm not going to shuffle it, but I am going to, like, do, like, a checkerboard pattern on it real fast. And I'll show you what that looks like, because even just a checkerboard pattern on it looks like absolute hell. And absolute, absolutely, like, hellish. This is what it looks like in a checkerboard pattern. So this is a normal... the equivalent of, like, if the colors on one side were flipped and were on the other side instead. Except that it's, you know, it looks like absolute hell. And I can fix this in literally, like, you know, 8 turns. See? And it's, just a nightmare of a cube to get your head around the first time. And, I think it took me, like, 4 hours or something the first time I shuffled it. And, not as long now. I'll say I at this point, I would love to have, like, some new cubes. I feel like the cubes that I have, the novelty is sort of worn out a bit. But I would love to have something that's just, like, fresh and exciting and, like, you know, really caught my interest. You know? Something entirely new. And if there is such a cube out there that would, stoke my passions or whatever, I'd be interested to try it out. I don't know of any such cube though. Honestly, it kind of seems like I already bought like all the ones that were like interesting or good or not too like tricky or weird. You know. It's been a while since I looked though, so maybe people are selling new stuff now. That would be nice if that were the case. New cube now and then really does, like, you know, is interesting. Okay, there's a key door here. It'll lead to, like, up. There's a door here that's locked. Another door that's locked over there. This dungeon seems pretty big, I'll say. If I recall, the part of the dungeon I remember maybe is like beyond that door. Maybe there's like a big going up sequence where it's all just rooms, you know? Hey, one of these guys. Boy, a lot of this dungeon is fighting like, you know, one of these guys or one of those guys or doing one of these things. I guess as the last dungeon, it's sort of a best all, but not like best of, but not like explicitly like the one in like Wind Waker or Ocarina. You know, it's not like you're literally going into rooms marked with the dungeons you've been in before. Just, hey, here's some enemies you might remember. You have to fight them. Go ahead and put a bow on all those, like, side things. Oh my god. That's not good. There we go. Okay, good. My sword is good enough now where I can one-cycle it. I guess. Did my sword get powered up? I guess it did. That's cool. Anyway, a bit of cubing recently. I should probably look in to see if there's any, like, interesting thing. I've also been watching a little bit of, like, cubing YouTube again. First time in a while. It's always interesting to see, like, shape mods that people have made. You know, taking the basic puzzles that exist and modding them into weird versions that are, like, much, much harder for their, unusual geometry. I probably wouldn't do a shape mod, though. I just want to buy something and have it be, like, you know, cool. I don't really want to have to make it myself or, you know, modify it or anything. I do have one mod, technically. I made, like, a stickerless variant of, like, an axis cube, which is, in a way, like a forced axis cube. But, I didn't remove the stickers or make like put. I just removed stickers. I didn't like do the thing that some force cubes. Force cubes is a thing where it's not actually a functional cube, insofar as like you know, a force cube is like what you get when you have like a Rubik's cube and you make all the sides all the same color. And you have, you know, in some cases you have like 6 of them. If you like cannibalize like 6 cubes to make like 6 force cubes, each of a different color that's on the face of it. It's a pretty cool idea. That's, you know, I feel like if I want to have a puzzle, I want it to be like functional as a puzzle. And I'll say like the axis cube, since it's like, you know, it can deform in shape, even if it doesn't have any colors, it is still actually a puzzle. And it still has, like, a solid state and a unsolved state, so I like that. Eh? Feel like there's gonna be a ghost here. What? Who the fuck are these? They look like the Twilight guys, but they're dressed up like Hylians. They're really pointing at this wall. I guess let's try hitting it with a big rock. With a big ball and chain. That's not right. Maybe every room has those ghosts, and they're all really weird. I don't know. How about a bow and arrow? You know what? That's gotta be it, yeah. Bow and arrow gets the painting down. Okay, cool. That'll do it. Ooh. A little bit runny. Yeah. Alright, these guys look like a threat. And there's two of them. They have like keyblades. Those things remind me of... Oh, they're maces. They just looked weird from the angle. Ugh. Must be something new out there that I can get. I'll say some things like a ghost cube, that's beyond me. I also think like the I've tried the cubes that are like have gears in them, and those have been really janky for me to the point where like when I try to like shuffle them or solve them, they seem like they're practically falling apart. And honestly, I don't think there's much value to a puzzle that like randomly glitches into an unsolvable state as you're like trying to solve it. Like that just doesn't... That's just no good at all. I'd be interested in something new. Honestly, that'd be a pretty good like gift idea for me if you like knew every cube that I had and could come up with one that I didn't. That'd be a pretty decent like cheap gift idea. Though I don't like the ghost cube. The ghost cube is like a weird one. It only spins when it's a little bit off its when some of the pieces are like a little bit off kilter. And I just couldn't figure out like how it was supposed to all go together. Impossible to me. I'm not doing great here. If I die, we're gonna go back and get some, If I die, we're gonna go back and get some pumpkin stew. Really needed like a heart, not a rupee there. I don't know what's up with this teleport move of these guys. Kind of silly looking. There we go. Some hearts as well. Perfect. I guess let's go outside real fast and go to that building across the way. I bet it'll be open now. Oh, well, I was wrong. It's still closed. Oh, well, never mind. Maybe it was always open, but we had to, like, approach before that would happen. The bird? Is the Adventure Club gonna be here? The Adventure Club is here. Alright, you know, hey, I said do a dungeon and talk, and they are actually here in a dungeon. And looks like they're gonna try to help. I didn't know that guy had a rocket launcher. That's pretty good. I wish I could have found a rocket launcher in this game. I mean, I have the ball and chain, which is nearly as good for, like, getting through walls and stuff. But like a rocket launcher, kind of speaks for itself. It's gonna be like a small key. Oh, a big key. Even better. We're at the boss? Shit, yeah. Guess that's Hyrule's Castle. This has been a really short stream. But it looks like we're about to wrap up. That's nice. I like that. You know, I said earlier that, like, for the YouTube, for, like, the VOD, kind of a shorter stream makes sense for a lot of reasons. You know, it's more watchable, it's more consumable. And also, it's just good for me, you know, on account of taking less of my, my evening. I can go watch a couple episodes of anime, have a nice, refreshing bath, and probably do some other stuff without it becoming like, even before it's like 3 a.m., you know? I reckon I'll be able to do like a good amount tonight. Assuming this boss battle goes pretty straightforwardly. Which I imagine it will. Should we jump down? I think we should jump down. We've unlocked paths to get back up. It's all fine. Let's see what's in that chest. And then go over to the, like, the corridor that leads to, the final boss. I think there's still a good amount in this dungeon. Oh, just money. I literally am maxed out. Haven't had the room for money. Yeah, okay, so the next... Okay, so there's, like, gonna be a final... What the hell is that? Room with so many chests in it on the 4th floor. We're gonna go up a couple of rooms. It's gonna be pretty linear. And then we're gonna fight Ganondorf. Let's go into that final, like, gauntlets, I suppose. And, you know, see what happens. First, I need to get back up. There's another card, by the way. Been watching Abroad in Japan. Very good YouTube channel. Which is, a English guy, you know, like a Britain. Like from the UK, from London or some such. And he's sort of like a cynical British guy in, Japan. Sort of has, like, gives me vibes of, like, similar vibes to, like, the comedian, what's his name? Stuart Lee. Sort of similar, sharp British wits. And, similar accents as well. He's good. I like watching his stuff. You know, Tim talking about Japan, what's cool about it, what he has enjoyed, you know, living there, and, various experiences thereon. I just like to say, really, really good channel. Very much enjoying it. I expect I'll enjoy it a lot more in the future. And I'll say, like, a couple of his videos have given me ideas as far as, like, places I would like to go once I, go back to Japan, like, you know, whenever I get the chance to do that. Very good. Oh, I feel like I remember this part. The blocks on the floor. Very memorable. This is a puzzle based around these ghosts. There's a safe path here. And the ghosts are the ones that recommend it. Case in point. Well-designed little puzzle, actually. You know, using the shadow guys to force you to, like, turn on your senses. And then, you know, you'll see them and figure out, like, oh, shit. You might not even fall. No ghost in this case, but it's fine. Final corridors. Yeah, let's do this. Then it'll be final boss fight at time, and then, you know, credits. And then we will, end. Very nice. Very nice. Another card. Been watching Pluto. That's a Netflix anime about, like, a detective trying to solve, like, the murder of a serial killer who's going after really powerful robots. Turns out it's a retelling of an Astro Boy story. I didn't know that. I just saw it on, like, a page that had, like, a page on, like, an anime site that had, like, a relational detail. Like, oh, this is a derivative work of, you know, it said it was a derivative work of, Astro Boy. And I was like, huh. So I guess that guy, there's this kid in it who's named Adam. I guess he's supposed to be Astro Boy. And I was kind of confused about that. I said, like, is Adam just like Astro Boy renamed? The answer was, well, in Japan, he's always been called Adam. Adam has always been, like, his last name, so in a way, Astro Boy is actually the rename, not Adam. I still think that's weird, but I guess if they were running around calling him, hey Astro, how's it going, Astro? It'd be weird. I feel like it's very easy to go into that and see this Adam kid and not realize, like, wait, this guy, he's Astro Boy? Also, I did see some of the designs, like, before and after the Plutification of them. And, like, yes, a lot of the characters who are, like, the most powerful robots in the world and such, they all got, like, somewhat of a glow-up, which is nice. Is the volume getting louder? I feel like the volume's getting louder. Hope it's not a problem. Hope you can still hear me. Let me check real fast, see how that sounds. Feel like I'm still audible. Let me just drop it like by 3 decibels real fast, just to be on the safe side. Always want to make sure that I am audible. You still can, by the way. Hello. Hey, Trebucket, how's it going? I was just talking about Pluto. Anyway, I still have, like, most of that series left. I've only watched, like, 2 episodes of it. There's, like, 8 in total. They're each an hour long, so it's a bit of a time commitment to, like, spend an hour on each episode. But I'll say those episodes have been good. I'm maybe not as wild about them as most people, it seems, who are, like, into that. I guess, you know, I have no experience with the manga or with Astro Boy in general, so I guess maybe that just makes sense. Pluto is sort of like a serious adaptation of an Astro Boy arc that makes it into like a piece of crime fiction, sort of. It's pretty good. It has some cool stuff going on as far as, like, there's like evil robots running around. There's like some sort of evil robot killing a bunch of really strong, powerful robots. And there's a detective trying to solve the case. It's kind of hard-boiled. I guess we can't get into that room. I guess I don't have a key or something. This looks like the final boss. Let's go. Yeah, this is giving me strong last boss vibes. In fact, I remember this boss, actually, come to think of it. Very clearly, as I come up, we're gonna see Ganondorf. We're gonna see the Zelda. He's over there in that whole temple-y looking thing. I got like just couple cards left. Let me do this one. Hey, Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, one of my favorite animes from last season. Sora ran into production issues. The last 3 episodes were delayed. They've announced that all 3 are airing on Christmas. Sure, that's good. Hey, getting there in time for Anime of the Year consideration. I do think Zom 100 is Anime of the Year quality. Really enjoyed that a lot. It's a show about like a zombie apocalypse where it comes as a reprieve to the working week, you know, like the main character is like a wage slave, and when the zombie apocalypse pops up, he's like, oh my god, I don't have to work. This is great. I love this. And he's just having the time of his life in the zombie apocalypse. It's so colorful and lighthearted and fun. It's so good. And also just like, you know, goals to be able to like, you know, enjoy being between jobs and such. It's, seems nice. And, you know, I'm now between jobs just like Zom 100, man. It's nice, yeah. Though, he's not, like, actively looking on account of there's a zombie apocalypse. I guess that's different. Versus, like, actually just, you know, enjoying life. Anyway, let's go fight. It's time to fight Ganondorf. I got a few more cards left, but I reckon we'll save them for, we can always save them for next time. That's always 100% fine. You know, that's actually good. I don't have to write some new cards. I can just use the ones we didn't get to today. A short stream is actually really good as well. Just insofar as, like, not using up so much of my night. You know? That's Ganondorf, yes. Leaning over to, Tutor Bucket here. That's Ganondorf. Like the meme. You know, from, it was like a popular, they still call them tweets? A popular X from X the Everything platform. From like 8 years ago or so. I would estimate. Do you think that's 8 years ago? What's the meme? That's, I'm gonna Google it real fast. Leans over. That's, what is it? That's, leans over to date. That's, what is that reference? Meme. I'm gonna put in meme, that'll help. Not finding it. Come on, it's that's a spicy meatball? No. It's the one where you lean over in a theater and you say, that's me watching what's the fuck's the movie called? That's, fuck, what, it's gonna kill me. That's, movie name. That's movie name. The name of the movie. Leans over to date. It's about like a movie with a robot arm. Robot with a robot arm. Robot with a robot arm. God damn it, that's not getting me anything. Leaning over to date. Let me search X the Everything platform. I bet that'll work better than YouTube tends to do. Leans over. I bet leans over. Leans over. That's... I found a derivative of that. Leans over to date. These top results. I got the signal. No, it's not the signal. Here's the top 2 results that Twitter has given me. Leans over the date whenever Liam Neeson appears in Taken. That's Taken. That's the format, but that's not the original. Leans over to my date in the theater. That's the director of District 9. No, that's not it. What is the original? That's Gino, that's thing. Was it deleted? Maybe it was deleted. Maybe that account's no longer there. Is it That's Chappie? Was it That's Chappie? I don't think it was That's Chappie. Maybe it was That's Chappie. Hang on. Yes. Okay. That's Chappie. Credit Mashable. March 23rd, 2015. I believe. If that's the original, then yes, 8 years old. Nailed it. Okay, that was a diversion. Sorry about that. Had to figure out who said That's Chappie. I actually didn't read out who it was. Vinny Nil. Story thing out now. I don't know. He's just a guy, you know, who went viral that time. Probably a popular guy. I don't know. Funny tweet, though. Very, very funny. You know, mimetic. I like Ganondorf's sword. He's got real absolute power. Oh, yeah. That would be suitable of a king. I don't know, though. I like the king of Ganondorf. What happened to the king of Hyrule in this one? Where is he? I will risk everything to deny you? What do you mean? He's not a god. He just has power. I have power, too. She has power as well. We all have power. You don't need to be, like, weird about it. Is it amusing? Is it amusing? I'm going to kill him. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit him with my sword. And maybe light arrows. Are we going to get light arrows? Feel like we might get light arrows here. Oh, hey, he did a Twilight thing. That's cool. I guess he learned a thing or two while he was in the realm of Twilight. And all. Twilight realm. He possessed Zelda. That's no good. Evil Zelda now. He looks more like a Twilight character than like a member of the Twilight race with all the lines and stuff, rather than like a Ganon type deal. Don't worry, it's just fading to black. Ganon's puppet Zelda? Why can't I move? Here I go. Okay, can move. We're just gonna play tennis with him. Like in many other games. I guess with her, you know, with Zelda. Yeah, there's been a lot of puppets of Ganondorf. Usually they're shaped like him. It's very rare that they're shaped like anyone else, / that they're, like, possessed. Anyone else, like, possessed. That was kind of cool. I like that attack. Big triangle in the floor. Volume good, by the way? I wish that games would just be consistent with volume. I know that, like, going up in volume is, like, a good effect. But, like, as far as, like, me balancing the audio goes, I like it to be consistent. Yes, it's very funny that you hit me. That do I think it did do damage. Yeah, okay, so there's like the little waves. Those are the empty hearts. There's not like empty hearts. You played Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, right, Trebucket? Like, you just haven't played the older ones like this one. If I were recommending, you know, these older games, I'd probably say start with Ocarina and Majora, and then maybe Wind Waker. That would be the order, I think. This one's pretty good. It has, like, some of the best dungeons in the game. Though I'll say these last two are, like, you know, not among them. You played Breath of the Wild, beat Tears of the Kingdom. Oldest one you've beaten is Minish Cap. Think of doing Link to the Past. That's cool. I don't think I've ever, like, beaten Link to the Past either. Like, I played it a couple of times. I rented it on the GBA once. And then I had it on SNES Virtual Console. I don't think I've ever, like, actually 100% finished it. Just gotten, like, most of the way in. I'm thinking that might not be a bad one for, like, the next, for, like, a future playthrough series. But we could also, you know, I just did Wind Waker HD, Skyward, you know, Twilight Princess HD. Doing Skyward Sword HD would just make sense. Like, complete the set and all. Hello, Paul. What do you think? What do y'all want to see? Does anyone have any opinion about, like, would you rather see me play Link to the Past that I'm not, like, super familiar with? Or would you rather see, like, Skyward Sword, even though it's, like, you know, very bloated as games go. Like, oh boy, they make you work for the dungeons in that game. You'd rather see Link to the Past? That sounds like a good idea. I'll say, the way that I've been doing it is, I played through one campaign of StarCraft 2. The next thing I'm going to play through will be Heart of the Swarm, the second campaign of StarCraft 2. And then I'm going to go back for something Zelda after that. So either Link to the Past or Skyward Sword HD. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out at the time, you know. It'll probably be a while from now. It'll probably be like at least a month, maybe December, before we're going to like, Skyward or, Skyward Sword or, Skyward Sword or Link to the Past. I'll also say my plan after I finish the third campaign, which will follow of StarCraft. My plan for after I do that, Mario Odyssey 100%. That'll be the thing. Every shine, every moon, every one of them, you know. And I guess that will result in maybe some streams at the end where I'm just, like, grinding for coins, you know? I mean, I guess we don't have to go for 999, but I'm probably gonna have to go to 999, right? What am I doing wrong here? You think I have to become a wolf? You know, he became a boar. I probably should become a wolf. You know what? Hey, there's a fairy over there. I should just go ahead and capture that. Just for safety. Those are the ideas I have for the following, you know, next 3-4 playthroughs. And I'll say, like, after that, got no plans. We'll just play it by ear. Oh, no! Stop looking so amused, Link. That was bad. That was really bad. That was not good, Link. Oh my god. What do you got? Turn into a wolf? What? When they stop running, they don't stop. I don't understand what she is saying, but I'm guessing it's something like use our wolf senses. I don't see him. Hang on, I see the warp thing. Okay. I don't understand this boss. I'll say I, have played this boss and all before. If anyone wants to, like, give me some idea, it's up to y'all. Senses. Let me talk to Midna again. I'll take care of his attacks, so you counterattack when he is down. You'll what? You'll take care of his attacks. I don't understand what she is talking about. He's not invisible, he's dematerialized. It looks when he's running across, that's the key. Or like maybe when he turns, but then he's like, I can only target and do something when he's like actually moving. It's weird. Genuinely do not understand what's going on. Isn't this a sign for Ganon used, the one they used for the boss fight in Ultimate? I believe that's true, yeah. The Ganondorf design is the Twilight Princess design. And I'm pretty sure it still is. Is that not the case? Actually, no, I think he did have a redesign to be more like, I think he did have a redesign in Ultimate, but, the pig form is still like, directly out of this game. Ultimate, he looks more like Ocarina. Yeah, that's the better design. Pig, Ganon, Twilight Princess. Okay, let's see. People ask, how do you beat Pig Ganon? Let's click this button on the Google and see if the AI-generated answer is good. It's pulling from an IGN article, which is good. Okay. Circle him, what? Because Ganon is going to be in your face a lot, Z target him and just constantly circle strafe around him and jump to the side to avoid his attacks. After a missed attempt, attack while he recovers. Because Ganon is left-handed, circle him clockwise since he's the most vulnerable from that angle. Google. No, that's not the right answer. And it literally says, people ask, how do you beat Pig Ganon? It's not the question, how do you beat Ganon in Twilight Princess? That's a different question. Which, let's see what this says. Okay. How do you beat Ganon in Twilight Princess? Push the analog stick on the nunchuck to the left or right. You'll throw him to the ground. What? Now lock onto the scar Oh, wait. Okay, actually, that sounds like nonsense, but I think it's part of an answer. This is a goat situation. Shit. We're supposed to do the goat thing from the start of the game. I didn't realize this was a goat situation. And also I need to wait until it gives me the prompt again. I was thrown off by what she said about senses. Wait, no. What? Okay, that didn't work. What the hell? I thought this would be a goat situation where I would, like, just be, like, waiting for him. Wait, unless I need to put the heavy boots on so that I can catch him. Okay, heavy boots are on. No difference. Okay, this is not it. Okay, what the fuck then? Let's look at IGN's guide. Okay. We did the puppet. Okay, Dark Beast. Stand on either side. Keep your bow and arrow and aim at the shining spot. Okay, bow and arrow. That's it. We've been wasting our time with our sword and our wolf. The key is the bow and arrow. Sometimes these things maybe aren't as obvious as the developers maybe expect them to be. I'm sure someone thought that was very obvious that you should use your bow. Jesus, still took some damage there. Attack this little scar, and yeah. Okay, we figured out how to do this. Just gotta rinse, repeat, and not take 3 more hearts worth of damage. God damn it. Not good. It's not good that I'm taking damage like this. I will slash that belly, Trebucket. You got it. Okay. Looking for blue. You see blue. If anyone sees blue, let me know in chat. On, you know, a 15-second delay. What? Where'd he go? Ganondorf, that's a cheap bastard. What the hell? That was... Okay, you know what, hey. New pattern. New thing. What? He didn't give me a vulnerability. He wasn't vulnerable. Any point of that attack. Okay, buddy. At some point, Ganon will vanish. That means it's time to transform into wolf. Okay, how was I to know that? He looks like he's just as invulnerable, you know, after doing that jump, but, go figure. I will trust the, frequently asked questions. What can I do when he's a... Don't understand. Okay. I transformed into a wolf. I'm very confused. Face the portal. What? Although it may go against everything you learn, face the portal he emerges from and let him charge right at you. Press the A button when the indicator appears on screen and then hold the control stick. Okay, so shit, it is an untutorialized, like... We tried this earlier and it didn't work. We're gonna wrestle him now, but as a woof? Boy howdy, I don't know how you would figure this out without being told by an FAQ. Because literally the way that you fight it changes halfway through the fight without any warning. Okay, fuck. Let's retry that. Okay, cool. We're starting from this phase. Okay, not cool. We have only 3 hearts. I would love to conserve this fairy, but, we gotta use it now, and even then it's not going to get us up to full. Kinda sucks, but whatever. Better than backtracking. Or like, you know... I never did get a second bottle. Let me do another card while we're fighting this dude more. Y'all feel like Crunchyroll Anime of the Year has lost its prestige? I think last year I was pretty negative when I realized last year Crunchyroll's Anime of the Year, like, yes, I figured it out. Thank you. I feel like last year they sort of, they made a bad choice insofar as, in order to make things like work out schedule-wise, they made it so that anime had to be finished by like, had to be completely finished by like the end of November to qualify. Meaning like Bocchi the Rock and every other fall show could not qualify, and instead they get to compete this year, which I think is ridiculous, you know? Like, look, I love Bocchi the Rock, but it's not the Anime of the Year 2023. It's the Anime of the Year 2022. You know, like, look, that's just how time works. It's a 2022 show. You can't tell me it's a 2024 Anime of the Year. Also, I don't think it's right to put 2022... I don't think it's right to put 2023 shows against 2022 shows. Like, that's ridiculous. Oshi the no Ko or Bocchi the Rock, I can't make that decision. No one can make that decision. They came out in different years, for God's sakes. You can't compare them. That's just not how anime works. That's not how Anime of the Year works, Game of the Year works. You cannot compare those things because they came out in different years. The competition should be between 100 Girlfriends Free Ren and Oshi no Ko. But the fact is, Free Ren and 100 Girlfriends are gonna have to wait for next year, which is ridiculous to me. I also do think as time has gone on, as I've watched more anime, right, live, I have, like, developed more of a taste that is, like, separate from the consensus, like, of Crunchyroll, right? Like, oh, we have to hold down the button. When I was first getting into anime, I found, like, the year I got into anime, right? I found the Crunchyroll list of Anime of the Year nominees to be, like, very useful. Insofar as... There we go. Insofar as, like, oh, it gave me ideas and showed me, like, oh, these are the shows that people are talking about. And I thought that was great. But I guess also as I've, like, you know, I've actually been trying out anime the last 4 years and, like, actually know what's good and not good before it comes on. Or, like, before an anime awards show tells me what's good. Since I've been doing that, I no longer, like... I now look at the anime awards and I have, like, a dog in the race. And I feel like it's like when you see Oscar award nominations and you're like, what the fuck? They snubbed, I don't know. Did Everything All at Once get nominated for awards? If it didn't, that would have been a snub. But I bet it did, so you know what I mean. You know what I mean when there's the best movie of the year and everyone knows it, and it doesn't get nominated for anything. It's like that feeling. Anyway, I definitely feel like it's less important to me, and personally, I put a lot more weight on like anime of the year that like individual people put together, and like, you know, my own anime of the year list, rather than Crunchyroll as like an organization. And I also think it's weird how it's like, I think how Crunchyroll's awards work is that you can vote every day. That's not how anything works. That's not how voting works. You should vote once and that be it. Not like, you know, every day and you get more votes if you share or do any other such weird things. That's weird. That's weird. Don't do that. I think we won. Is there another phase? I bet there's another phase. Maybe that was the finale, though. Let's see. Are we going to see sexy Midna now? Escape sequence, maybe? Oh, hang on. Yeah, I think something's happened to Midna. Wait, her power is being sucked into Zelda? That's a good thing. Pretty sure that's a good thing. Oh, she's getting very weak. I guess maybe there was like a blessing that Zelda put onto Midna. Your heart and mind were as one, however briefly. Your heart and mind. Okay. So I guess that's how her blessing works. You've suffered. Yeah, she's been through a whole deal. She was turned into an imp, and then, you know, had to go on a fun adventure with us. Okay, here we go. Actual final phase. Let's go. You knew it had to not be over. You knew there was more. Oh, right. We have this whole super weapon thing that we have gathered up through the whole game. I always think that the last dungeon of most Zelda games is arguably the weakest ones. You know? Because they don't have dungeon items, is the main problem. Because they're the last one. It's hard to make a good last dungeon. And I think that's part of why I think Majora's Mask is maybe the most brilliant. Because it just goes like, fuck it, no last dungeon. The last dungeon is just the fourth dungeon. There's no final dungeon at the end of this. Just like some mini activities that you can do if you want to get like 100%. And you absolutely should, because the reward you get is phenomenal. Majora's Mask, though, I'll admit, is an acquired taste. You gotta be ready for some time looping, some, like, amount of racing the clock, and also, do know that you can slow down time if you play it. You can slow down time to, like, 1/4 speed or something, like 1/3 speed. It's pretty slow. I forget if it's, like, 1/2 or 1/4 or 1/3, but it's, like, some much slower amount. I think the 3DS version might be even slower than the N64 version, but, you know, N64 version's on N64 Online, so that's probably the one you should do. Oh, he killed Midna! This is kind of like the finale of Breath of the Wild. I kind of felt weird about that in Breath of the Wild. He has ring rates. What the hell? Okay, final Ganondorf. We're gonna get a bow of light, a light bow, and also I think we'll probably be on horseback. Midona, that's right. Hello, Sheba. How you doing? Oh right, it says Sheba next to the next to your name. Next to the Japanese. I was reading the Japanese. It's characters. I know, you know, hiragana, katakana, all that. Some kanji. Not as good with those, though. You know, there's so many of them. Seems like an impossible thing to memorize and like internalize all their rules and stuff. I do Duolingo and Lingo Deer a bit. Probably couldn't, you know, read just like any random paragraph though. Sadly. You're Japanese? I love I've been to Japan once before. It was fucking great. I really enjoyed it. Lovely country. Really ruins travel to other places, let me say. I don't know I'd ever go to like Europe or something. I feel like I'd always just rather go back to Japan, you know? And definitely want to go to Japan like sometime soon. I've said before, like, you know, I get a new job, and if I can get like some time before, what are we doing? What are we doing? If I can get some time before like the next job starts, I would love to like do a big couple weeks in Japan, you know, before having to worry about time off and all that. You've been for Spain for time abroad, Trebucket, over on the Twitch, by the way. There's another viewer on the YouTube if you're wondering who I'm talking to. Maybe I should just get that thing that copies chat messages from one to the other. I need to check and see if Twitch is like really firmly actually against that, or if we're just like misinterpreting a rule that they have. Because if they're not actually against it, it'd be good to, you know, actually have those messages be copied over for, like, context. I don't know what I'm doing. Fun fact, I was born in Spain, actually. My parents were in the Navy. So, you know, was there from around 0 to 1. Never been since. Not really interested. More interested in, you know... I guess I'd be more interested in, like, the UK because I can speak the language, you know? That'd be, like, the one European country that I would be, like, into going to. But I guess, actually, you know, there are a lot of theme parks in a lot of European countries. And I am a theme park person now, so, like, you know, I bet I would enjoy traveling to, like, I don't know... whatever countries have whatever cool theme parks. I'm about to die. I know this. I feel like I've gotten like... Oh, maybe I just need to like dodge and wait for Zelda to like do a thing. Or maybe I need to line her up. That seems to be doing the trick. Come on. Yeah, there we go. We have just one fraction of a thing left. Let's try to do this. What's with the A? Oh, that's the mashing. That's the thing for like the horse. Of course. That's makes sense. Here come more ring rates. I mean, I'll say I think these ring rates are pretty cool that he has. I guess at the time, this is the first time a Zelda game ended with a horse battle. And, right? Like, there wasn't anything of the sort in Ocarina. It's not how Ocarina ended. I did think... And I guess, like... This is the only time other than Breath of the Wild where that's been the case. And she's finally useful, that's true. I mean, she also did basically the same thing in Wind Waker. And in Ocarina? And in this game, she did, like, free Midna from her curse. She's done some things this game. She's done some things this game. Zelda has. Tears of the Kingdom and like, is like her debut as like a, you know... She's never been more prominent than in Tears of the Kingdom, I'll say. And maybe Breath of the Wild as well, kind of, sort of. So with that. And in Breath of the Wild, she's just like a ghost the whole time. Which is not so dissimilar to Tears of the Kingdom, but, you know, it definitely feels like she has more of a role in Tears of the Kingdom with you know, how that all went. Okay, we got one more phase here. I have a fraction of a heart, but I bet there's a checkpoint here. This is Ganondorf. He is the Dark Lord. This is pretty cool music. This reminds me of the guys who... Right? Maybe a shield bust? Shield thing? Maybe roll behind. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, rolling is the answer. Or just getting behind in general. I'm rolling in front. That's not exactly a good strategy. I should break some of these skulls. I bet they have hearts. Maybe a fairy? Alright, very good. Hey. You feel that way too? What was that in regards to? It's been a minute, sorry. I forgot what I was saying earlier. What do you feel that way about, Trebuckets? I lost the context there. About Zelda's role. Ah, yeah. Yeah, it's very cool. Tears of the Kingdom. Fantastic game. I feel like, I don't have any fairies, no. I'm fresh out of those. I got a fairy earlier, but then I accidentally hit the button and used it prematurely. That was before dying, though, so I wouldn't have actually... It would have been spent by now. If I hadn't, it would have been spent by now either way. It's just what I have on hand. Here's the Kingdom, one hell of a game. It's gonna be like, I reckon it's gonna be my game of the year. I feel like... I don't like, and I'll say, like, I probably shouldn't be, like, putting together my list before it's all said and done, you know? I feel like that's unfair to games that are, you know, not out yet, like, say, Persona 5 Tactica, and games I haven't played, like Cocoon, but Tears of the Kingdom probably gonna be number one. You know, Pikmin 4, probably gonna be number 2. I think Mario Wonder for number 3, and that's a pretty good lineup. After that, you know, there's lots of games. There's Space for the Unbound. I love that. I loved a lot of games this year, I think. Space for the Unbound. I've heard that about Cocoon. Definitely want to play Cocoon when I do it the next time I do a Game Pass stream, which will also be, I think, next week. I think next week there's, you know, Persona 5 Tactica is out. I want to have a look at that. I'm going to do Persona 5 Tactica and also probably look at Cocoon and probably some other Game Pass games. You know, on those Game Pass streams, I like to play a good number of them. That'll probably be next week. Hey, Fauntleroy. I'm finishing up this game. How you doing? Have you already seen the sub? Oh, right, you re-gifted, right? You forwarded it on? I think you did that, yeah. You're the one that did that. Very cool of you. If that was you, or was that My memory, you know, hey. Someone regifted a sub, and it was very sick. If that was you, very, very happy about that. The whole pay it forward thing. It's very cool. Come on, let me kill you. Let me kill you. I need to roll. That's what we learned earlier. I need to roll or do like there we go. Yeah. This sub was gifted. Yep. It was my 2 weeks. My 2-year stream anniversary last Friday. So that was why. We had a whole sub goal. I played some WarioWare as a result of hitting one of the tiers of that. Very, very nice. Thank you. Thank you for the congratulations. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. What does that say? It's a chest. What's the chest? We had a chance there. I missed it. Don't worry. I think we're still good. We're still great. Bless you. Thank you. 5 hearts left. Fucking wall. You're Zant tight? Yeah, that's another thing you say when you sneeze. That jump slash. Chance! What was that? I hit A, but maybe because I was hitting a direction as well. You had to look up how to spell that? It's a hard word to spell. Isn't it like German or something? It's like German or something. 4 hearts. The chance thing is not as automatic as, like, say, the system in, like, Wind Waker. You know, I guess, hey, they haven't tutorialized this thing. What the fuck is... I hit the button. Maybe you have to hit it, like, right as he does the thing. Okay, there we go. A little unintuitive, but whatever. I'll say this boss fight maybe could use a little bit more, like, polish, I guess. Finish! That's... I'm not gonna say something sexual, but look at that. Doesn't that make you think like, oh, he's, Ganondorf, he's having a good time? That definitely occurred to me. I'll go into no further detail. The little death. Is that what they do call it that, don't they? Do they? That's weird. There's nothing... That can't... Is that true? I think I've heard that before, but I don't think there's anything like, you don't die when you come. No. I don't think anyone has. It's the French word for it? Okay. It's like poetic. Gotcha. Yeah, buddy, that's not looking good. You should get that looked at. You might turn to stone. I've heard that happens. What? Zant is here? Are we gonna fight Zant? If we're fighting Zant, I have forgotten about this. I don't think we're fighting Zant. I think that's the end of the game. You okay there, Ganondorf? Yeah? Okay. He's done. Alright. Oh, there's stuff appearing. I'm obscuring one of them with my whole thing. Oh, it's the spirits! That's not a bad thumbnail. Right there. I'm gonna have to come up with a good thumbnail. I always have to come up with thumbnails for streams. Like, after they're done. And I'll come up with a good one and a good name. It doesn't need a good name. It just needs to say it's the final one. I'll come up with a good name for the VOD. It's too meta. I shouldn't be talking about that now. I'll think about that in, say 10 minutes when the stream is over. 10 minutes? 10 minutes from now? Yeah? Maybe 5? I feel like there's about a minute left of this game. Here's a human Midna. And Midna's gonna say, hey, what's the matter? Your cat got your tongue. On account of how, attractive I am. I feel like people like the imp version of Midna better, though. They are more sexually attracted to the imp than the, tall, humanoid Midna. I think it might also be a furry thing. Is the Midna, is the Midna fandom, partially, Fury adjacent? Yeah, that's right. She became, a humanoid. She's uncursed. If you remember right, this ending goes on pretty long. Okay, shit. Let's see what happens. I guess also credits. We'll see credits. There's credits. Hey, speaking of credits. You like the uncursed version of her better? Yeah, I think everyone does. I think everyone does like the Wait, no. You like the uncursed. Okay. I like the cursed version. I see what you mean. I got you backwards. This was not a pretty long ending, Falteroy. Well, that was Twilight Princess. Pretty damn good game. I do think it's the start of, bad trends in the Zelda series as far as, bloat goes. Some of those in-between dungeon bits are really long and deal with a lot of characters that I just miss from me. I don't care about them. And I don't think most people do. I feel like Midna is the star of the show, and the more Midna, the better. The more you meet, the adventure crew, it's not as good. That said, some of the best dungeons in the series, I think, from the start to the City in the Sky, they're just all-timer great dungeons. I'll say the Temple of Time in particular is top tier, amazing. I do still think, now having gone through them today, those last two dungeons, very underwhelming. The Twilight Zone dungeon, Palace of Twilight, kind of nothing. It's kind of just a bunch of fest quests that are mildly unpleasant, but, doable. I guess they're tense, hey. And the Hyrule Castle is okay. It's very okay. It's one of the most middle of the road. It's one of the most mid final dungeons, I'll say. I think that the thing that really hurts those dungeons is they don't have items, and to be a really good dungeon, I think you need a really good item. And I'll say most of the dungeons in this game have really good items. The ball and chain, the hook shots. The hook shot is a really fun variation of the hook shots. The spinner, the rod of domination. They're all kick-ass items. And I think that that really is most of the game's value. I'd say this is somewhere between a 4 out of 5 and a 5 out of 5. Coming out of it now, I think I'll, I don't want to be too generous. I'll say 4. I'll say 4 out of 5. I think that's a fair review. And, for having, some really kick-ass parts, but also just taking a little bit too long to get to the business. Having a bit too much, startup. A little bit too much, inter-dungeon stuff. And I do think that, the Twilight parts kind of go a little too long. Jeff Gersman was absolutely right with an 8.9. That's about where this game falls on a 10-point scale, I think. In fact, that might be a little bit generous. I feel like an 8 is not, out of the realm of possibility, honestly. I'm not going back and changing that review that I have on Backlight. I think 4 out of 5 is just about where it lands. It's very good. I'll say it's great. It has some amazing parts, but falters at the end, falters at the beginning, and the middle parts, I don't know about those. I think I have like one card left, by the way. Why don't I just pull it right now? Hey, did you hear about this funny little story where some bored apes got blinded? The bored apes, they had like an NFT concert, and apparently they were using like UV lights that are supposed to be used to like kill bacteria as like black lights. And the thing is, they kill bacteria because they disrupt DNA, and they just had like a ton of them, all like using them as backlights, as like black lights, and as a result, a lot of the people that were at this convention were sort of going blind and going like, oh no, my eyes! It's kind of, you know, it wouldn't be funny in most cases, except that these are like NFT bozos who can't do anything right. And it's kind of just funny to me to hear that they are suffering. Fuck NFT people, they suck. It's funny to me when they fuck things up so bad that they literally blind themselves. I guess I hope that they get better. That's I don't care either way. They were bored people who are like still into bored apes. Man, you guys been had. I'm sorry. You should cut and run right now. The money is gone. It's never coming back. There's more story stuff after the credits. Oh, okay. We're gonna see that. Okay. We're gonna see that. So we're gonna check that all out. We're gonna go through that. That is part of this game after all. I was fixing on ending, but we'll absolutely see like what's going on. Like, what is it, like post game, or is it just like a couple of cutscenes? Anyway, that's just a fun little thing. Cutscenes. Okay, we'll see those. Very cool. I will say, let me just say, like, while we're waiting for these credits to, like, finish up. Wait a minute, I feel like we're gonna say goodbye to post-game cutscenes. Let's go. I was about to do the schedule stuff. I'll show the schedule and the plans for this Thursday after this cutscene. And then we'll do a raid and send you two, Fauntleroy and Trebucket, somewhere. You know, a Twitch raid for those on YouTube. Twitch is a thing. They have raids on Twitch. I don't see anyone in particular really want to raid. I raided Glower last time, so maybe someone else today. Open to suggestions, Fauntleroy or Trebucket, if you have any ideas who you'd like to see. Light and dark can never mix. Shadow and light are two sides of the same coin. That's true. One cannot exist without the other. Yes. I've beaten it before, let me say. But it was like at least 10, 15 years ago, so, you know. I've probably beaten it like once or twice before. Probably. I've replayed, you know, the game's on my GameCube. I replayed them. At least once, probably. I had the GameCube version, as well as the HD version. I now know the reason the goddesses left the Twilight a mirror in this world. It's their design that we should meet. Okay. Nice to meet you. I'm sure we'll see you again in another game. Like your people or something. Oh, what's that? You lost the stone? You lost the mirror? Oh, fuck. Yeah, Arbiter's ground sort of sinks into the sea, and it's just like a sort of sand pit as of the time of Breath of the Wild, so, yeah, I don't know if we'll ever be seeing you again. It'd be cool, though. Hey, why did you guys get banished to, like, an alternate realm? You know, if you guys, They could have been banished to like the Deep Down Under. Deep Down Under is pretty cool. Wait a minute. So is this the same? So Tears of the Kingdom takes place after Wind Waker, because Wind Waker definitely happened. There's evidence to that. But Arbiter's Ground exists. So Wind Waker flooded old Hyrule, and then there was a new Hyrule that was forged somewhere else. Wait a minute, the mirror's breaking. Why'd you do that? Why did you do that? Okay, I guess we're finding out now why they never come back. She broke the mirror into like a million billion pieces, and yeah. Goodbye. I mean, good for her. I guess she probably wanted to be a tall, sexy woman rather than a impish little gremlin. Does anyone want to be an impish little gremlin? I guess people don't get to choose whether they're impish little gremlins or tall, sexy women. Except when it comes to, like, virtual reality. There's a show about that. Like a Girl Gun, Gal Gun, Gale Gun. Spin-off of, that VR MMO show. It'd be nice to change back and forth, I suppose. I like just being in the middle. Okay, that was post-credits cutscene. Oh, let me give you a little more volume. I had the volume low for that whole, final confrontation. Pump it up a little bit for this. You don't remember if there's anything more? I bet there's not. Like, what would it be? Like, saying hello to the children? Saying hello to, like, a shopkeeper's child? Could be that. This is where the gods live. These, like, oases with, like, rocks on them. I do think it'd be cool if, like, in a future Zelda game... Honestly, I think that's an underused thing to bring back old foes and be like, hey, this game, we're doing it again. I think that's one of the things that was great about Pikmin 4. That they were like, oh, we're doing it again. Holes are back. Holes are back. The holes are the same as you remember. And also, there's a bunch of enemies you remember being in holes, and they're back again. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? I like that a lot. I feel like, they could bring back the Twilight things again. For a later game. They could also do something like, I think like Metroid could do that as well. Like, if the Ing ever came back, I would be very happy. Like, if the Metroid Dread sequel was like a Light World, Dark World with the Ing again, I would be delighted. I think that'd be a great fit for, 2D Zelda, or 2D Metroid. What's your favorite Zelda game? Majora's Mask. But I do think there's an argument to be made for Tears of the Kingdom. It's too soon for it to get onto my top whatever list. And also, I'm holding by Majora's Mask for now as like my number one with a bullet. Okay, so Link put the sword back, and he returned home. And people wake him up in the morning by yelling at him. And then he comes out and he does the bulls again. You're looking forward to replaying Tears of the Kingdom again? I don't know, man. I feel like that's a game you play once, Like, you can't rediscover that world. You can't forget it. They're gonna have to make another one. The volume got loud, didn't it? Volume back down. Volume back down. Tears of the Kingdom, phenomenal. Eventually, I'll consider, like, whether it makes my top 5 list over Majora's Mask. I do generally like to have my top 5 have like unique games and unique like genres in it. So like I do think that if Tears of the Kingdom made the list, it would come at the expense of Majora's Mask. But yeah, who are those sexy? Oh, those are the gods, the goddesses. Wait, what? Oh, staff credits. Okay, right. Staff credits of the port. Okay, duh. Those were the Twilight Princess credits. Oh, jeez. Can't skip! Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Let's continue talking. You revisited Breath of the Wild once a year? Wow, okay. I couldn't be me. I tried like doing the master mode later on and I just wasn't as into it. Maybe if I had just tried it on like the regular difficulty. I also really didn't get into the DLC. I just bounced off the DLC hard of like Breath of the Wild. I don't know, like the dungeon that they added was really good. The extra dungeon. The extra dungeon was really good, but it was a lot of work to get there. Tears of the Kingdom, though. Oh my god. Really wish they had DLC planned for that. I bet I would really like it in this case, especially if they added, like, extra items or something, but, you know, they're not doing it. They're not doing that. It's all, done. It's all one and done. Which, hey, you know, I appreciate that they got it all right at the start, but, yeah. I'll tell you, I got that dirt bike. Like, I got that dirt bike, and I was pretty disappointed. It kind of felt like a worse version of a horse. You know, a horse, but with less, like, personality. And also, just, you had to refill it every now and again. Wasn't as into the horse DLC. It wasn't as into the motorcycle, which, you know, it makes it such a surprise that, like, vehicles was the thing that they hung their hat on and for the second game, and yet it worked so much. It was, like, so compelling in a way that, like, the motorcycle was not to me. Hey! That's the game. It is done. We finished. Let me pull up the old schedule. Talk about what's coming up in the next couple of days. You can see that Mondays around 8 p.m. Central, I have jotted down to Twilight Princess HD. Scratch that. I'm going to take next Monday off. No stream next Monday. And then the following Monday, I'm going to start replaying StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm, the second campaign. And then after I finish that, I'm going to do some other Zelda game. Let's say Link to the Past or Skyward Sword HD, whatever one we decide on. Kind of sounds like there's more support for Link to the Past than Skyward Sword, which, hey, you know, Skyward Sword is a very bloated game. If this game's a 4 out of 5, Skyward Sword's more of a 3 out of 5, you know? Let's face it, that's just the truth of it, you know? You love StarCraft 2 but never finished the campaigns? Oh, they're really good. I think they get better as they go. I think Heart of the Swarm is better than the original, and Legacy of the Void is quite good too. Honestly, Heart of the Swarm might be my favorite if I were to say, maybe just because by the time that like Legacy of the Void came out, you know, it had been too long. But it might objectively be the best. I'm sort of curious to go back to Legacy of the Void, you know, go to them all in sequence and see how I feel. You know, I kind of felt going back to the first one, it's definitely weaker than the other two. Definitely, like, they didn't quite have the upgrade system quite as good. You know, you watched a lot of competitive multiplayer StarCraft 2. Oh yeah, same. I guess you had the same like gateway that I did, watching Brad Shoemaker get into it. Was that your gateway as well? Yeah, that's Brad got into it and then I got into it as well, and it was a good time. I found like some streamers and stuff like Day 9 and The rest was history for a couple years. I got into Hearthstone soon after, Diablo 3. I had never played a Blizzard game before StarCraft 2. Heroes of the Storm, got way into Heroes of the Storm. Anyway, that'll be starting like in 2 weeks from now. There'll probably be some other stream next week around like Tuesday or Sunday or something or other. Play it by ear. Maybe we'll do Extra Life next Sunday. Would that be fun? That'd probably be fun. That'd probably be a good time to do Extra Life. Plan for that is 50 turns of 8 Mario parties, maybe across multiple streams. I'll say, like, each of them will be at most 12 hours long, so we'll try to figure out how that all works out, how many we do per, and, we got some fun goals for that as well. I could pull those off as well. Look, here's the plans for Extra Life. $10, player noises. I make noises until the next turn in the games that support that. I hit the button over and over and over again. $25, you choose a CPU, it goes up to hard, and you get your name next to it, or somewhere on screen, $50, you get to take a turn for me. If you want me to waste a star or do something dumb, you can make me do that for $50. Or you can be nice and, just make me do the right thing. Up to you. And if we raise 500 total, there'll be a Mario Party 3 full playthrough. Like the full story mode. And if there's $1,000, I will buy Mario Party 9 and stream every map to its logical end. Which sounds like a bad time, but if we were to raise that much of an amount, I would be happy to do that. That's a stretch goal. Last time we raised about $500, just short of it. So I reckon maybe this time we can do it. But that's the plans for that. Next stream. Jeez. Next stream, Paper Mario Randomizer. I have 2 seeds set up. One with limited logic that only requires chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the other with limited logic that requires chapters 5, 6, and 7 to be finished, and also all the items will be found within those chapters on either seed. Using BizHawk Shuffler, I'm going to switch between them every 4 minutes, so that'll be fun. That'll be a chaotic randomizer. Little extra randomizer stream. Been wanting to do this for a bit, figured out how to make it work, how to generate those seeds, sort of hacked the open source code to generate those seeds, and a little bit, and yeah. It's all ready to go. That'll be on Thursday, and Friday will be Fewer Levels, Mario Maker 2. Alright, folks, that's going to do it for tonight. Let's do a raid. If y'all have suggestions, go ahead. Let me see who's online, who I can send you to. Any ideas from y'all? If y'all have suggestions, Fauntleroy, Trebucket, if you're still around, go ahead and shout them out. I see Hamster Gaming playing that Silly Melon game. How's that sound? Silly Melon game? Yeah, let's, unless someone from chat has a suggestion right now, let's go with Hamster Gaming. They're like a gaming store out in California or something. Dan raids them a bit. Seems like a good idea to me. Anyway, that's gonna do it for tonight. Nice medium length? It's like 11:40, so like, I guess this was about 4 hours all told, but for finishing this game off, for doing the whole thing, I think that's good. I think that's a good length stream. Everyone's saying goodnight. Goodnight, Fauntleroy, Trebucket, anyone else watching, anyone watching the VOD. I will be back for Paper Mario Randomizer 2 seeds at once on Thursday. That should be a fun stream. And then Viewer Levels, normal style, on Friday. And maybe Extra Life this weekend? We'll see. I don't have a team for that right now, so, maybe I'll just do it by myself as like a solo operator, not part of a team or anything. We'll see. Let me figure some stuff out, and by the next stream, I should have a date. Maybe next weekend, maybe this weekend. We will see. I guess if it's next weekend, we won't do the Monday stream. We'll do like we'll do StarCraft on like Thursday or something. No, actually, next Thursday has to be next Thursday is the Thursday after next. Okay, whatever. I'll be back on Thursday with Paper Mario. Y'all have a good one. We'll figure out the schedule some other time. Thursday, Friday, that's the plan. Nothing next week on Monday. Bye, folks. That's it. Bye.